branch or call 0302-210-210, 0302-224-043 for further inquiries. ADB is the People's Bank. ADB is truly a Greek and more. Still with no tribe, and we'll bring you the newspaper review shortly. Total Energies, together with Piva, are happy to bring you the newspaper review. Oh, you should see Sky dancing to the studio. Handkerchief, down. Hey, come on. Ah. December. This is taking me back to Pentecost, you know what I mean? Yeah, the convention, you know. When they read the song, oh my God. When the apostle entered the system. Oh man. No. This is the vibe. It's a Friday morning, you know. The week has passed like it didn't come at all.
Yeah.
God has been faithful.
Yes.
You know, when you drive on the streets of Accra, you go home and come.
Charlie.
You know that God has been faithful.
Charlie. Yeah. Never.
Yeah.
You'll be correct.
Yeah.
You'll be correct.
So the grace has been abundant.
No, let me just say good morning to all the membership of the Church of Pentecost.
Very necessary.
Very necessary.
From the chairman, Apostle Eric Jamiche, to the deacons and the brothers.
Can tell Speaker, can NPP take over KEEA seat? NDC sure of victory. That's in terms of the Daily Graphics Constituency Watch. And my credit score unveiled as Third Credit Reference Bureau. That's on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. And on the back page, Ghana Water Limited loses 1.89 billion cedis worth of processed water annually.
Let me take you to the Herald newspaper. Akufo-Addo hijacks 86-year-old Efia Nkwanta Regional Hospital as his legacy. Comes with a photograph of the president's statue erected in front of that hospital, and something that everybody is pouring scorn on. Also on the front page this morning, NDC and NPP trade blame outside Parliament as Speaker adjourns for absenteeism. Also on the front page this morning, Mahama tells Sal to punish NPP for denying them Parliament. Bashes judiciary over his injustice. And then something here again that says Sakawa lover, Hajia for real, lands UK policeman, others in trouble.
The Daily Guide says vacant seat saga, Speaker NDC on warpath. That's coming from Afenyo Markin. Parliamentary standoff will affect public servants' salaries. Godfrey Dami hosts SKB Asante on international arbitration. Bawumia unveils my credit score system, and 2 die in Konongo accident. That's what the paper says.
The Chronicle, Bagbin is supervising chaos in Parliament, says Majority Leader Afenyo Markin. Also, I am using digitalization to solve economic problems. Bawumia responding to his critics.
The Inquisitor newspaper, dismissal of case against Deputy IGP, police personnel jubilate, and there's a picture of COP Christian Tete Yohunu here. NDC raises concerns over EC's final voters register statistics. Napo is a genuine promise keeper. That's coming from the Yana. And why we boycotted Parliament for the second time, Afenyo Markin explains, and Speaker suspends Parliament indefinitely again.
The Informer, Bawumia targets Ghanaian youth with digital skills, fights corruption with digitalization. Also on the front page, humbled Bagbin, ready to promote government business. Again, Majority Leader blasts Speaker for instigating confusion in Parliament. And in this issue too, will press contempt charges against Bagbin. Katie Hammond revealing.
The Ghanaian Observer says Bawumia launches my credit score platform, and Akufo-Addo is saying Bawumia epitomizes integrity, selfless leadership, and Akufo-Addo is rubbishing it, for lack of a better word, the NDC's 24-hour economic policy.
Okay.
The Ghanaian publisher says Bagbing leading NDC on war path. Again, quoting Alexander Marking. Also on the front page, Baumia unveils My Credit Score platform. And 18,772,289 eligible to vote. This is according to the Electoral Commission. And they've made the register available.
Yeah. I know some of the numbers can trip you, so you need to breathe and mention them well.
Yeah.
Finally, for me, the Daily Post. Lecturers in Ashanti region throw support behind John Mahama, and there are some pictures on the front page of the Daily Post.
Okay.
Franklin Kujo gives Baumia the Badge of Economic Dishonor Award. And Speaker adjourns Parliament indefinitely again as MPP MPs fail to show up.
Okay, let me take you to my final two newspapers. The first one, the News Center. Credit scoring system launched to remove bottlenecks to credit. Dr. Baumia is quoted here. The story about Parliament also makes the front page. Bagbing setting Ghana on fire, Apenyo marking. And best post 881 million Ghana cedi profit clears all legacy debt. I think, is it best or bust? Maybe they want to say bust.
No, I think the name has changed.
Oh,
it's no longer the bulk oil thing. They have a new
best.
name now. Yes,
Oh,
best.
okay.
BST.
I see.
All right, I think we can go on.
And the final one
Yes.
is from the Republic Press. It says, Abetifi on high alert. Pali's invasion backfires as community takes down troublemakers.
Right.
Parliament is also here
Right.
on the front page.
Okay, let me start from citynewsroom.com. And government spends at least 1 million Ghana cedis on each parliamentary recall. Mutala discloses. Sky, could that be it? 1 million Ghana cedis?
It's actually a lot of money.
Hey.
A lot of money that
And
they
they've
sit
been
down there
just
and just
adjourning and just-
misbehave anyhow, thinking that as for Ghana, we don't have any problem.
Wow.
Grown men and women, they cannot go and do what they have been elected to do. They go there in front of the cameras. People are misbehaving as though, it's some classroom deal without a teacher. It's completely unacceptable.
So if you go to channel1news.com, 6 sustained machete wounds as a Betifi youth clash with armed men. Baumia launches My Credit Score to revolutionize credit access. Apanyo Markin more focused on majority leader title than government business. If you go to My Joy Online, quickly, it says here, GRA has become like a terrorist organization. Al Hassan and Dani critiques tax regime. Voter statistics to be ready by Monday, EC says, and government policies haven't helped private sector, says Daniel Macaulay of Magdan. If you go to Class FM Online, 2 Ghana School of Law SRC executives to step down for failing Part 1 exams. There's a big question. Adakulu MP assures NDC supporters of ballot protection during December polls. And AFCON 2025 qualifiers, party left out of the party. Left out of Black Stars squad as Ayutis. No, this party, the party song. If you go to Star FM, Ablakwa demands dissolution of National Cathedral Secretariat. And also down here, we have John Dramani Mahama rescues and research plans for Ghana's neglected basic school system. I take you abroad quickly from Musk to RFK Jr. What a new Trump administration may look like. Trump picks White House Chief of Staff as control of Congress hangs in a balance. China is trying to fix its economy. Trump could derail those plans. These are some headlines here. And also we are told that 43 monkeys escaped from U.S. research lab. They say they are going back home.
Hey.
And what Trump's victory means. What Trump's victory means for China. That's also a feature on CNN. Gentlemen, we can go into the details of the papers.
Well, we can start from Parliament. I guess that's where all the big news is happening. And the story says the extraordinary meeting of the 4th session of the 8th Parliament started yesterday but was short-lived as the House adjourned indefinitely again within minutes of the sitting. The adjournment, the second in 3 weeks, followed the absence of the members of the NPP caucus in the chamber when the House reconvened. The decision to stay away, the members of the NPP caucus later explained, was because the NDC caucus, who are supposed to be the minority, had occupied the right side of the speaker reserved for the majority. prior to the commencement of proceedings at 10:55 a.m. The story goes on to say the majority leader and member of parliament for Efutu, Alexander Penyomakin, said at a news conference that their decision was to keep a distance from the House, or their decision to keep distance from the House was to avoid a possible standoff over who had the right to occupy the majority side. And if you go to page 13, there's a reaction to that.
Okay, so let me give you the reaction, which is on the front page of the new publisher. Bagbin setting Ghana on fire. The story says Majority Leader Alexander Penyomakin has indicated that the Speaker of Parliament, Subana Kingsford Bagbin, is supervising chaos in Parliament by intentionally allowing the minority to perpetrate lawlessness and a needless provocation in the chamber. Now, he said the National Democratic Congress minority on their own went to the chamber and lawlessly removed the name tags of the majority members from the seats positioned at the right side or on the right side of Mr. Speaker, and then occupied those seats just to cause chaos. Penyomakin, addressing journalists in Parliament yesterday, said it remains a publicly known fact that an attempt by Mr. Speaker to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant, which would have made the National Democratic Congress caucus become the majority, has failed because the Supreme Court has ruled the decision should be frozen and put on hold.
In the meantime, government spends at least 1 million Ghana cedis on each parliamentary recall, Murtala has disclosed here. Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, has voiced serious concerns regarding the financial strain that emergency parliamentary sittings place on the state. According to him, each day of such sittings costs Ghana at least 1 million Ghana cedis, a substantial expense for a single day's gathering. He highlighted this issue following Speaker Bagbin's decision to indefinitely adjourn Parliament on Thursday, November 7. What we know is that the Majority Leader, Penyomakin, has made that indication that they will recall Parliament once again. But Murtala is asking, why did they waste all of our time? It comes with a huge financial burden to the state, because if I tell you one day sitting, particularly in circumstances like this, Parliament will spend close to 1 million or more than 1 million cedis for all MPs. Our TNT would have to be paid. Imagine the number. I was in my constituency, as a matter of fact, when the recall happened. I had just 2 days to go from. Okay, so here he's talking about what else he was doing before the recall. Can we continue this recall expedition when actually the recall is done? Those who recall actually don't show up, and then the next thing Speaker adjourns, and we are told that it's costing us 1 million. You
see, I think that, look, it's like
you don't have the words, do you?
You know, it's just sheer irresponsibility being displayed from all angles. Because you cannot imagine that we have all of these problems in Ghana, which problems have got to be dealt with. Members of Parliament who have been elected do know well that we have problems in this country, and those problems require solutions. Some of those problems have been inflicted on us by the members of Parliament who failed to do their duties to the Republic, allowing government to run riot on the public purse. They should sit down there and be ashamed of themselves. They have not done their duty. And when it is coming to the close of this Parliament, people just think that they can arrogate themselves, positions and authority, and do things that disrespect the goodwill that the people have accorded them all along. And then they say that, it is somebody that is making Parliament or disrespecting Parliament. They themselves, the conduct that they are putting up in front of every Ghanaian, kids are watching. The international community is watching, yet you call yourself members of Parliament and your conduct is not honorable enough as to reflect the goodwill of the people. Anyway, why some banana republic? There's a speaker there whose job, if you look at the standing orders, his job is to call the people to order. Run that institution to the glory of God. If people are misbehaving, it is his job to call them to order. Yet, he's pretending he's not seeing it and allowing this chaos to continue. It's unacceptable.
All right, I'm sure we'll get into it later.
We sure will.
Page 3 of the Daily Guide, the Vice President is here. And yesterday, he launched the much-anticipated My Credit Score.
Yes.
The Daily Guide calls it a groundbreaking platform designed to transform the country's financial landscape and bring unprecedented inclusivity to the credit economy. He was Dr. Baumia was speaking at the event, and he said his vision of a robust credit economy aligned with the unique realities of the country's financial sector, where mobile money had outpaced traditional banking, reaching over 22 million users. So that's the lowdown from
that's a good one.
Let me just plug into that, because there's a story on the front page of the Chronicle, details on page 3. I'm using digitalization to solve economic problems.
Right.
You know, he's been under fire. He's run away from the economy. He's now hiding under digital business. Now, he says in the Chronicle that the story says the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, says, contrary to claims by former President Mahama that he has abandoned economics to pursue digitalization, he is rather using the latter to solve economic problems facing the country. Now, according to him, during the era of President Kufuor, when he served as a deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, he conceived the idea of digitalizing the economy, including introduction of credit score system. He subsequently sponsored a legislation to back the same. So basically what he's saying is that there's a connection between digitalization
and the economy. That's fine. Now, government policies haven't helped the private sector. Daniel Macaulay, CEO of McDan, is saying on My Joy Online that so it says he has openly spoken about the challenges Ghana's private sector faces due to government policies. Speaking at the recent Ghana CEO presidential gala dinner, he criticized these policies for their lack of support for local businesses, stating that they create an unfavorable environment for entrepreneurs striving to make a difference. Quote, I'll be very blunt. Government policies have really not helped the private sector. That is where we are sitting right now, and we have to be frank about it. If you want to do business in Ghana, then you have to be prepared. Being a Ghanaian doing business in Ghana, you have to be brave. Many times it looks like we don't support our own. I've tasted it, I've slept with it, and I'm living with it. It's quite dangerous and difficult. If you build the life of my businesses, we can generate $3.2 billion for the government every year. Okay, we can get into this, and I would love it if more entrepreneurs out there listening can share their perspective on doing business in Ghana. But government has never been broke until DDEP. Al-Hassan Andani says former Stanbic Bank CEO Al-Hassan Andani has expressed profound disappointment over Ghana's recent financial trajectory, saying the government's declaration of domestic debt exchange program marked a historic and troubling moment. He was speaking at the same gala where he says, in my life in banking, it's been over 30 plus years, I've never seen government broke. The government had never been broke until we declared the DDEP. No matter how long the government owed you money, ultimately they would pay you. So a cocktail of stories reflecting the financial difficulty and the hardships that the private sector players have been dealing with.
Well, let's go to some other stories. Now, the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is drawing what appears to be legitimate fire for the decision by whoever to erect what's the, how do they even call that thing? Statue. Now, the story is by the Herald newspaper. It says Akufo-Addo hijacks 86-year-old Ifya Nkwanta Regional Hospital as his legacy. Now, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo unveiled a statue of himself at the entrance of the Ifya Nkwanta Regional Hospital in Sekunde on Wednesday, November 6, 2024, during a one-day thank you tour of the Western region. Now, this has triggered mixed reactions from the public, with many calling for the statue to be demolished a day after he leaves office. Now, the Ifya Nkwanta Regional Hospital was established in 1938 as a military hospital by the then Gold Coast government. Now, the hospital, located in the Sekunde Takoradi metropolis, 6 years older than President Akufo-Addo himself, used to be one of Ghana's 10 regional hospitals. Explaining the rationale behind the statute, the Western Regional Minister, Kwabena Ochiri-Dakumensa, who spearheaded the event at an unknown cost, said the monument honors the president's contributions to the region. Well, he goes on to provide some other details.
The story has made it to the BBC.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary.
I'm on some international platforms that my my colleague journalists from other African countries are asking me.
The president.
Oh, Charlie, there's what's going on.
I don't know why people just sometimes they can't think through the issues properly and then they just
and
go.
The timing. Sekedi Takrady residents call for removal of Akufo-Addo's statue. Story is on Channel 1 News.com. Residents of Sekedi Takrady have expressed their disapproval and surprise over the erection of a statue of President Akufo-Addo outside Efiam Kwanta Regional Hospital, reportedly in recognition of his contributions to the region. So that's an angle to it. That's on Channel 1 Newsroom.com. Nathan, what else?
If you go to the back page of the Daily Graphic, the Ghana Water Limited is here.
Yes.
And the story says the company loses almost half or 48% of the water it processes, translating into 1.89 billion cedis a year. The managing director of the company, Dr. Clifford Brymer, made this known yesterday at the launch of a leakage detection field at the Ghana Water Institute at Weja in Accra. And he said, quote, today we lose about 48% of total water produced in all 90 urban water systems combined. We have made huge investments to ensure accurate measurements and to identify areas within our networks where water loss occurs. The leak detection field will serve as a training ground to equip relevant personnel of the utility company to ID or identify the sound of leaks, geolocate, and fix them.
Okay, let's stay in the space of what brings us money and what takes money away from us. If you go to the news center, there's a story there on page 4. Best post 881 million Ghana cedi profit clears all legacy debts. Now, the bulk energy storage and transportation company limited, Best, generated a total revenue of 22.7 billion Ghana cedis from 2019 to 2023, making a profit of 881 million Ghana cedis over the period. Now, this achievement is attributed to a prudent governance system as well as efficient operational practices introduced by the company's board, management over the past 4 years. Now, Dr. Edwin Alfred Provençal, that's how they pronounce it. The managing director of Best announced this during a news briefing organized by the Ministry of Information in Accra to update the public on the company's success. And also, quickly, let me just draw your attention. Ghana shows early signs of improved crude oil production, just above the story I read to you earlier. And it says quickly that Ghana's crude oil production increased by 10.7% in the first half of 2024, marking a promising turnaround from the 13.2% decline seen in the previous year.
If you go to CNN, final one from me, we are told Putin congratulates Trump on winning presidency and what Trump's victory means for China. Beijing is bracing for what could be a volatile and highly unpredictable path ahead in its escalating great power rivalry with Washington. Details are on CNN. That's how we wrap up the news review this morning. Thank you, Sky.
That the Edward people on the front page of the Informer are calling for the abolition of the double track system.
Very well. Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Nathan.
The Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I'll go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
So where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make I feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My buddy, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work. But you know I'll be your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, cause you know I'll be your side. When you dream, no say I never no believe with us. Fidelity. Oh, if I know I dey your side. Fidelity.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Coming up shortly is the business news brought to you by Echo Bank and Girl Super SP. Echo Bank says save this number anytime you have a money emergency. Just dial this number star 770#. Save it as money emergency number star 770#. When you dial this, in terms when you need an instant access to a loan, fund transfer, utility bill payment, airtime, data purchase, you can just do that with star 770#. So that's your money emergency number, courtesy Echo Bank, your Pan-African bank. And then we have Girl giving you good energy as the ideal choice for most vehicles and is flowing. Wow. Get Girl Super XP. Its quality gives you the correct choice when you buy your regular fuel. Girl, good energy. Young Araya Dianashika Caesar is here. Good morning, Na. You're glowing this morning.
Well, thank you, Caleb. How are you doing?
News? I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and Eco Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Coming up, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia reiterates government's commitment to addressing the country's economic challenges through digitalization. Also coming up, Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana urges government to address the pressing issues facing farmers ahead of the 40th National Farmers' Day celebrations. And later, businesses across Ghana and the African continent tasked to scale up adoption of ethical principles that promote sustainable economic growth. We settle for the details of our stories now. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has maintained that a government digitalization drive is focused on addressing the country's economic challenges rather than being a luxury. While outlining key initiatives, including the mobile money interoperability system, Dr. Bawumia highlighted how these efforts have positioned Ghana as one of the fastest growing mobile markets in Africa. He was speaking at the inaugural Ghana CEO Presidential Manifesto Gala dinner in Accra. The event was held to bring together Ghana's top business leaders and political figures under the theme Reigniting the Business Economy and Social Contracts for Growth, a business manifesto for political accountability and sustainable development.
When I talk about digitalization, we digitalize not for the sake of digital, not for the sake of technology. We digitalize to solve economic problems. All the digitalization initiatives are aimed specifically at solving problems. If you're a nation without a national ID database, that is not a luxury to digitalize and have one. If you don't have an address system, it's not a luxury. You digitalize and have that. If only 4% of your population has tax identification numbers, 4%, and through digitalization, you can increase it in 1 year to 85%. That is not a luxury. That is very, very important for you to do.
Dr. Baumia is the Vice President of Ghana. Now, businesses across Ghana and the broader African continent are being urged to scale up the adoption of ethical principles that promote long-term sustainable economic growth. In his keynote address at the Business Ethics Network Africa Conference, sponsored by Absa Bank, Vice Chancellor of the Ghana Communication Technology University, Professor Emmanuel Ohene Afuakwa stressed that as the global business landscape continues to evolve, integrating ethics into business strategies has become a critical imperative. Professor Afuakwa called on both private and public sector leaders to prioritize ethical conduct as a cornerstone for business operations.
In our pursuit of sustainable Africa, the role of ethical businesses is paramount. Businesses across sectors, whether in energy, in academia, in tourism, in banking, finance, mining, or whatever, holds tremendous power to shape our societies. They create jobs, spread innovation, and contribute to social and economic transformation. However, without ethical foundations, businesses risk exacerbating inequalities, depleting natural resources, and undermining the very communities that we serve.
That was the Vice Chancellor of the Ghana Communication Technology University, Professor Emmanuel Ohene Afuakwa. For her part, the Director of Compliance at Absa Bank Ghana Limited, Judith Hazel, reaffirmed the bank's commitment to building resilient businesses.
Absa is sponsoring this conference because in the communities we operate, we aim to be a force for good. And so this conference allows us to actively promote the ethical agenda across Ghana and indeed across the continent.
That was the Director of Compliance at Absa Bank Ghana Limited, Judith Hazel, speaking there. Now, as the country marks the 40th National Farmers' Day, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana is calling on the government to address the pressing issues facing farmers instead of focusing solely on the celebrations. Although the Farmers Association congratulates Ghanaian farmers for their resilience despite the significant challenges such as high production costs, inadequate infrastructure and limited access to markets, it criticized the government's insufficient action against illegal mining, which has ravaged farmlands and displaced over 2 million farmers. In a press statement, the farmers highlight that the government promises to curb galamsey have gone largely unfulfilled, with environmental devastation continuing across rural communities. The Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana also pointed to the ineffective implementation of the Planting for Food and Jobs Program Phase 2, which they claim has failed to deliver essential services like mechanization and financial access, branding it as more of a PR exercise than genuine support. The association urged the government to prioritize real solutions over ceremonial gestures, stressing the need for transparency, timely relief, and a focus on sustainable agricultural practices. Let's now have a quick market check on the currency board across some forex bureaus. The dollar could be sold to you at 17 cedis 2 pesos. The British pound could be sold to you at 22 cedis, and the euro could be sold to you at 18 cedis 40 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great business day.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy chop money. Cratchy, mommy rent. Emergency, emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and chop life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more. Dial star 770 hash. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
We understand the excitement and preparations that comes when your child gains admission into senior high school. But we at the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB PLC, also understand the financial burden this comes with. The chop box, trunk, school mattress, you name it. That's why we have partnered with Prospectus Ghana Limited to offer financial support for parents by introducing the ADB Quick Purchase. With a smart loan of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis, you can pick up all the items on your child's prospectus for school. ADB PLC offers you a repayment plan of 12 months to relieve you of all that heavy financial burden. Every ADB customer who receives their salaries through the bank, military and police personnel, and all other workers on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll qualify for this facility. Walk into any ADB branch nationwide or any Prospectus Ghana Limited office near you to apply for the ADB Quick Purchase. Terms and conditions apply. ADB, the People's Bank. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Move Kai Womdala. What move are you making? Well, Telecel Ghana says that they have exciting news for your move. Get connected for less with our discounted MiFi device at an unbeatable price of only 500 Ghana cedis, and also get 10 gigabyte free data. For all your internet connectivity concerns, this portable Wi-Fi solution from Telecel has you covered. Perfect for seamless browsing, streaming, and staying connected on the go. Don't miss out on this limited time offer from Telecel today. Visit any Telecel retail shop to grab yours today. Telecel, connecting energies. Later on this morning on the City Business Edition, I have a chat on sustainability with Adjoa Efriye Riafe. She's the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer for MTN. We'll be bringing you that conversation. Stay tuned because it's a very eye-opening one. But we've got exciting news for you we'd like to share. Join us at selected branches from now until Friday, November 8, 2024. SME Fair. Get incredible discounts on toiletries, provisions, clothing, drinks, etc. Today is November 8 and today is the day this is it's November 7, so this will end November 8, which is tomorrow. We are having the SME Fair. Today is November 8. Oh, that's true. Thank you. So this is ending today. It started from November 1. Santa Maria branch, Blue Kiosk Junction, Tema Community 1 branch near Market Square, Spintex 1 branch near Allied Oil Filling Station, Dansuman branch near the market. When you visit any of these SME fairs, you get free eye screening and you get to enjoy coconuts for free. So for enquiries, call this number 0531 072 643. First Bank, you first. You want a British degree at a fraction of the cost? You want a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you for useful employability skills, taking you one step closer to the career of your dreams? Enjoy all these and more, plus up to 50% scholarship for your degree at Lancaster University, Ghana. Be taught by the finest faculty trained to UK standards. You can have a campus store. For more information, visit www.lancaster.edu.gh Email admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. 020-960-7008 is the number to call. Lancaster University Ghana is the only British university campus in West Africa.
Sunday Macava Maclan, 5 time Obazigidi John Le Sot City, Afia Kachito Honjimanam, Da, Apology, Bakodaji, Chikodaji, Abamatakli, Obeleke, Achande, Ameni Sunday one day.
All right, now let's talk about ESG. ESG, environment, social and governance. Environmental, social and governance. These are the big issues when you talk about sustainability. And the world over, nations, corporations are all focused on sustainability. What does all that mean? And why should you care? Why does that matter? And how can your institution take up the sustainability drive and make it a reality? We'll tell you how MTN is doing that, and you learn a thing or two for yourself, your institution, and wherever you have influence. So let's get into business edition today as I sit with Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer for MTN, Adjoa Efriye Riafe. Enjoy.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Please wait. Please wait. Please wait until I get my new car. Please wait until I find my real size. I'm gonna get me some love so bad. My girl, sweet girl, my girl.
Hello and welcome to Business Edition on Citi FM. My name is Caleb Kuda. Now, the world over, nations and corporations, indeed institutions, are beginning to take sustainability very seriously. Resilience and sustainability are some of the buzzwords you will hear a lot of the times. Nation leaders, world leaders, and leaders of corporations are engaged in. Now, here in Ghana, one institution that is taking its responsibilities as far as sustainability is concerned is MTN. So I'm excited to be sitting with the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer for MTN, Adjoa Efriye Riafe. Good to have you, madam.
Thank you, Caleb.
Fantastic.
And welcome to MTN.
Thank you so much. You have a beautiful space here.
Thank you.
Great. So, first of all, what's your role as the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer for MTN? What's that?
I know it's a long one, but yes, as Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer, I oversee the legal and regulatory function, external communications, sustainability, and the MTN Foundation.
Wow, that's a big umbrella. A lot of hats you wear.
Yes.
Okay, congratulations on the job you do. And I understand also that you've launched MTN Ghana's Sustainability Week.
Yes.
Before we get into that, for many who are hearing this for the first time, what is sustainability?
Yes, I think sustainability is a word that is being used now and even more frequently when we talk about it. Most people understand it in terms of when you're talking about climate or action and things like that.
Right.
But sustainability really is about how we use our resources today without compromising the ability of future generations to also use those resources for their benefit. So when we talk about sustainable development, that is what we are talking about. Development through conservation and preservation of resources. Because, and I was reading something the other day, and there was a saying that the earth that we live in is not, we did not we do not inherit it from our ancestors,
right,
but it's borrowed from future generations.
Wow. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. It's borrowed for future generations.
From the future.
It's borrowed from them.
Yes.
Wow. So we have to keep paying.
We have to make sure that we are taking care of it, because it's not ours. Everybody comes in here for a period. You make use of the resources. You have to leave it better than you found it, and to make sure that others are also able to use it. So that's what sustainability is. And when it comes to business, sustainability is just making sure that you are taking the right measures that ensures that you are able to be in operations for a long time, prolonging your longevity. And when we talk about that, we also look at what the things that you're looking at. And when you look at sustainability, you're looking at the matters relating to the environment, matters relating to the society or social relations, and also what value you bring in economically. So these are the three pillars of sustainability: environment, social, and economic value that a business generates.
I see. That's very interesting. So why does MTN care about sustainability? For a business like you, why does sustainability matter?
Sustainability should matter for every business, because you are in business not for today, you are in business also for the future. And we know about companies that have been in existence for hundreds of years, and you just keep hearing that this company started and so yet they are still here. Why are they here? They are here because they are able to react to the changing times, and react very quickly. So for MTN, sustainability means that we are organizing our business in the way that allows us to stay in business for a long time. And this means that we have to take into account matters that are important for our stakeholders, such as the environment, such as the society. How are we contributing to the society? How are we giving back? Such as how much economic value we put in the system, and how we do it. So making sure that our governance is right. We are engaging in ethical behavior. We are engaging our stakeholders on a regular basis. So for us, our sustainability framework looks at the environment. It looks at, so we say doing for the environment, at the social aspect, doing for society, the society. We look at the governance aspect, just doing it right. And then also what value we bring it to the economy.
Wow, I like that. So not only is MTN focusing on maximizing profit, but you're looking at working in such a way that the environment is not adversely impacted by your activities, and you're also strengthening your internal governance structures while also making sure that socially you're relevant.
Exactly, because when you look at our strategy, a key priority is shared value, and shared value really looks at not only what we gain from our own growth, but how we also bring others along, and how we contribute to some of these important issues that our stakeholders also care about. And that's where the environment, the social, and the governance and others come in. So for us, it's not about us. We have to make sure that we are also making a positive impact on society.
I love it. So you've launched the Sustainability Week. Tell us about it.
So our Sustainability Week was really a commemoration of everything that we've been doing so far. Since Ambition 2025 was launched in 2021, we placed ESG at the heart of our business, which means that the way we do things should always take into account the impact that we have on the environment, on our society, and the value that we bring. And so for us, this was just a culmination of all the things that we've done so far to bring awareness to what we've been doing internally and externally. Because you know that, as they say, charity begins at home.
Absolutely.
So we just have to make sure that as we are on this ESG or sustainability journey, we bring all our employees on board. So this was a way of just raising more awareness about what the things that we're doing. We've been doing that over the years, but this was really a period for us to really ramp that up, get our employees involved, get more feedback from them, and then also be able to get others, collaborate with others outside of MTN to be able to push the ESG sustainability agenda.
I like that. Now, I've read also that you've unveiled your first electric vehicle and motorbike. Is that correct?
It is correct.
Wow. So what's the significance of this unveiling? And also, there's been a growth of electric vehicles in Ghana. So what's making yours special?
Okay, so one of the things or the ambitions that we have is to have net zero by 2040.
Right.
So every time we are talking about our environmental and our impact on the environment, we talk about that target that we have set for ourselves, and we are looking at it from currently our data centers, replacing our energy sources with solar and other energy efficient equipment. And so we're doing that in the MTN house. There are plans to do that. And I think that unveiling the electric car was a way of even bringing it further home.
Right.
Because when you talk about your fleet and our employees see what we are doing, but not everybody can go to the data center to see what we are doing and whether we are making progress on our ESG journey. By bringing it home to show them that we are even moving a step further to ensure that when it comes to our fleet, we are also going green. And so we brought in the electric vehicle as a pilot now to see how things will work. But beyond the electric vehicle, we are also changing our dispatch motorbikes. We are going green with those as well.
You don't mean
we
it.
also had on display the first motorbike.
Right.
We are hoping to get 10 more, or now 10, and then scale up. So we have plans to ensure that when we talk about the impact that we are making, we are looking at it from a holistic perspective, and we are just not. It's not just talk, but we want to live it. And you said the significance is to show that yes, we are truly committed to ESG, and we are going to do whatever it takes to make sure that we reduce our carbon footprint, and we integrate ESG into our business, so that it becomes part and parcel of the things that we do.
Right. So I'm talking to Adjoa Efriye on Business Edition today on Citi 97.3 FM. She's the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer for MTN. We are talking all things sustainability. We are letting you in on what MTN has been doing so far with respect to sustainability. Now, MTN is a significant market player. You're a market leader in the telecommunications space. So give us your numbers and why an uptick of electronic vehicles, for example, for your fleets, your dispatch, will contribute immensely towards the sustainability drive. Because when I read the literature, one of the things that institutions like yours are required to do is to take data of your own emissions, so you know that if you then replace them with sustainable options, you are going to reduce your emissions by so and so. Yeah, you get me. So I'm sure you have some data on those things you can share with us.
Well, I think you talk about the significance and why and the numbers. As you said, MTN is a big player in this space, in the telecommunications space, and given our position, people will look up to you, and you will know when this network goes down, the number of people who call us. So there's a lot that is expected of us, and for us, that's why we need to do what we are doing to have a positive impact on the society and on people. Our customers expect us to do more. Our stakeholders, all our stakeholders, expect us to operate ethically, expect us to have positive impacts wherever we go. So as I said, for starters, we are looking at, when it comes to net zero or project zero, which is our environmental flagship project, we are looking at net zero by 2040, and we are tracking that. But this net zero is across the MTN group. So each OPCO or operating company within the MTN group is tracking it. So at the end of the when the time comes, we will look at it so generally to see where we are. But we are also tracking and feeding into those numbers, and to make sure that every year we set targets for ourselves. So if it's maybe we are cutting CO2 emissions from our operations by this number.
Right.
Our network group always makes sure that they are tracking that, and we ensure that we meet those targets. So that's how we are tracking our numbers, and also looking at how much savings we are going to make. So now we have started looking at, as we are replacing some of our energy sources with solar, how much are we saving? And so we've started tracking that as well to see so that we can also show the value.
Right.
So ESG is really about value creation. It's not, some people will see it as a cost, but we see it as value creation. So how much value are we bringing to the business by all these initiatives that we are implementing? So we are looking, we'll be doing...
We should give it a bit of time, eh?
Yes, give it a bit of time. We'll be reporting on our ESG impacts, and hopefully in the next year or two, and then we'll be able to show how much impact we have made. Because, it takes a while to track the progress.
That's
and to
fine.
be able to report the numbers.
That works. Now, I know ESG and sustainability covers a lot of areas, right? So what are the key focal points for MTN sustainability strategy?
So we have an ESG strategic framework where we look at the areas of environment, social governance, and, as I said, economic value that we bring. For the environment, the key point is our Project Zero initiative, where, as I said, we've already talked about the target. We're also looking at water and waste, and how we manage our waste a bit more efficiently, how we also manage our water, the water that we use efficiently, and all that. Then when it comes to the social side, we are looking at diversity and inclusion. And we also have a target to have 50% of our workforce being women by 2030, and we are well on course.
Right. What was the percentage now?
We are around the 42%.
42, okay.
Yes, and so we are really working very hard in our recruitment, in our internal promotions, in the kinds of programs that we have from an HR perspective. We are encouraging women in tech, because this is a technology company, and sometimes, when it comes to the numbers in ICT, digital skills, women are always
disadvantaged in a way.
Yes, so we are just making sure that we are closing
the
those
gap.
gaps. And then we always talk about digital and financial inclusion. We know what mobile has done to the financial services sector. We are pushing now Momo agents who are female, Momo merchants who are female, and just trying to boost generally the female subscribers of Momo. And digital inclusion, we are looking at expanding our network coverage and so access to, and we talk about everyone deserves the benefits of a modern connected life. And we do believe that, because now we have 99% coverage, network coverage, and also dealing with all the bottlenecks that impedes access to our network. So digital and financial inclusion is a very big part of what we intend to achieve.
I love it. And from the little time I've spent here, walking right from the reception to here, at the reception I saw someone with mobility impairment there, telling me that you are trying your best to do the social inclusion thing. A lady brought me here, and here I'm sitting by a lady. Met more ladies on my way here, so I can attest to that. And then even in your offices, I saw some of my favorite plants. I saw monsteras, I saw some lilies and all of that. So that is great. So you're not just doing environment, but the social integration and the governance process are all things that you are working hard at achieving your goals. I want to go back to the electronic vehicle point, because some people will wonder, how does that fit in? I was on the streets of Nairobi a couple of weeks back, and I saw a bus that said it's strictly electric and cashless. So that if you bought that vehicle, you were paying with your M-Pesa, they were not accepting Momo or your card, they were not accepting cash, but you are doing digital payment. And then also in terms of emissions, then this vehicle is electric, so it's not emitting so much to pollute the environment. Then if you drive on the streets of Accra, you go to our central business district, you can feel the fumes that are coming from our cars. So it's a great deal that MTN wants to focus on reducing its carbon emission even as an entity. So I want you to share some more insights on that area for me.
Okay, and I think that it's also important, and you talked about MTN's position within the industry, that we act as an enabler. Right. Given our size, we need to make sure that we are supporting green energy and businesses that are in that space. And if, some of these initiatives that help to cut down on, carbon emissions. So for us, we see ourselves as an enabler. And you talked about why we are doing this, partly because we have that ambition to reduce our CO2 emissions, but also to be an example. So we start, and I know that there are others who are already using electric cars within the ecosystem, but also it's important for businesses like us to join in that the agenda, so that we are able to even push it further. And that's why for us it's key that we are seen to be cutting back on CO2 across our business, wherever we have it. And if fleet is also our cars emit a lot of CO2. You talked about going to the central business district, etc. So it's important for us to minimize the CO2 emissions across. And electric vehicles, we know that it's new technology. We know that our system is not fully developed to be able to, even scale it. Very quickly, uptake and all that. So we are working with the suppliers and to see how we can work it out, have more charging stations, for instance, and they are prepared to work with us to be able to drum home the importance of, cutting back on carbon emissions. So we see ourselves really as enabling that whole ecosystem develop.
So I'm imagining that, just to drum this home a bit more clearly, if you have a fleet size of 10,000 and you replaced all of them, you would have cut back on your carbon emissions.
Yes, and they're
significantly.
Exactly.
But I'm sure your fleet size is even more than this.
Well, I don't have the number.
Yes, but for the size of MTN, if you're able to do this across the country and other institutions follow the example as an enabler, that's where we'll be making some progress, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I love that. So, the voice you're hearing is that of Ajua Efriye Riafe. She is taking us on MTN's journey with respect to sustainability. Indeed, she's the right person to speak to because she's the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer for MTN, and this is Business Edition on Citi FM. My name is Caleb Kuda. So, I'm going to go back to the issue of women empowerment and welfare of marginalized persons, because this is an area of diversity and inclusion that MTN is pretty big on. And let me zero in on the women. One of the challenges that usually career women have is when they get to the nurturing stage, when they begin to have children, and then sometimes they take some months off and nurturing the kids. You're supposed to do exclusive 6 months. By the third month, your employers are expecting you back. How are you supporting women? Really?
I think I'll start with an example, and this is my our group chief corporate sustainability officer. And she always tells the story of how she interviewed at a time when she was pregnant.
Oh, she did.
She was taken when she was pregnant.
MTN?
Yes, she was recruited while pregnant. So
wow.
She started her job, and soon after she started, she went on maternity leave.
Wow.
So that is how committed MTN is to, diversity and inclusion and to women.
That's impressive.
To ensure that we provide an enabling environment or conducive environment for women. So it's not something, and if you're going to have 50% of your workforce being women, then you need to make sure that you have the right
space
in place to support them. And we have even a daycare here in our building.
I heard about that many years ago. How is that coming up?
Well, it's going well. So you see some of our mothers bringing in their children here while they work. So we are trying to create, not only, to say we are recruiting, but how do you make sure that when you recruit, you also are able to retain?
Right.
How do you deal with, skills and training and just making sure that women are also able to move up the ladder?
Right.
How do you ensure that once they are there, they have the right support to be able to deliver the same way that anybody else will deliver. So these are all, putting in place the policies, the structures to support women to be able to grow in the business.
So on diversity and inclusion, how would you say your structures are inclusive to support the marginalized?
So as you said, one of the key areas that we are beginning to look at is when they're differently abled. So you as you said, you saw
differently abled.
Some of them. And we are beginning to include them in everything that we do, even for our foundation programs.
Right.
There are 3 key areas that we are looking at, and we just finished an SME program yesterday where we are supporting some SMEs with financing.
Right.
And every program that we've done, whether in education, whether in economic empowerment, we make sure that we are looking at women, we are looking at differently abled or persons living with disability, and we are also looking at the youth. And so this has become a permanent feature of all our projects, because we don't want, when we talk about, we don't want anybody left behind. And indeed, we need to make sure that in everything that we are doing, we are casting our net widely and making sure that we are looking at in areas where people are underserved or marginalized and going there and supporting. And so even with these programs that we have, the SME support and some of the other things that we are doing in the economic empowerment space, we are going around the country to marginalized communities. And if you see the people to some of the fishing villages, to the farms, and so we are going into in the interior to make sure that we are supporting businesses. And we are, for whatever we are doing, we are also including everybody in that space.
Adjo, one thing I'm concerned about for your company as a technology company is digital human rights. Is one key area that I believe that you should be focusing on. Has that caught your attention? What are you doing in that regard?
It is very much a part of what we do. When we talk about ESG, the governance space, digital human rights is very much a part of what we do. And a lot of issues around how do you balance, sometimes the public, when you with that issue, the public interest against the individual interest, individual rights, cybersecurity, how are we protecting individual data and all that. So these are all things that are embedded in the way that we do things. And we're even going on a whole digital human rights awareness program across the business, how we are safeguarding information, how people should relate with or engage.
So you're teaching people their digital human rights.
We are teaching them, and particularly because we are also using other people's data.
Right.
We just have to make sure that that data is protected. So people have to understand their obligations when it comes to processing of data, the confidentiality that needs to be there. And aside that, also putting in place structures that will ensure that we are actually
protecting our digital human.
Exactly.
That's very interesting, because just before I came here, my grandmother friend called to say that just when one of her children sent her money for surgery, she had some scammers call. And sometimes you wonder how people get your number to be sending you such things only when you get some transfer, or sometimes try to scam you. It's quite a thing that's happening. And how even some influential figures in politics get detailed access to your data and all. What's happening there?
Well, cybersecurity, as I said, is something that we take seriously. And if you've seen, when it comes to Momo, I believe you're talking about Momo. It's we're doing a lot of education in that space, because when it comes to phone numbers, sometimes people engage in all kinds of activities externally where you may be asked to put your number down. Sometimes somebody's going to put money on your Momo. They go to the agent. Somebody else is listening. They know how much you are putting in. They're taking the number, and all that. So there are other avenues which people use to, just obtain or acquire other people's numbers. And so this is something that we are aware of, and we are educating the public in terms of, making sure, keeping security at the or taking care of your personal information as well. So I think it's a
shared responsibility.
Yes, responsibility. Just making sure that you are protecting yourself as much as possible from being defrauded, and for us to also take on our responsibilities.
I mean, just curious to know, how does it happen that very often just when you get some transfer, that's when some scammers are calling you? I don't know if you've heard that.
Well, we hear that, and we also know that sometimes it's whoever is at the agent also sending money. Sometimes we know that sometimes some of the people overhear things. But when we do have complaints, we investigate these complaints to make sure that our systems are still robust and are able to deal with issues that come up. So if there are any issues, we are we are open. Our doors are always open. We want to ensure that our customers, we protect the safety of our customers and their information. And so once a report is made, we take it very seriously.
We are talking sustainability with MTN Ghana. My guest on Business Edition today is Adwoa Afriye. She's the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer for MTN, and we are on 97.3 Citi FM. We call it the Business Edition. So, Adwoa, investors and shareholders have higher expectations of listed companies like yours. I mean, what message would you like to share with your stakeholders?
Yes, and we know that when it comes to companies that list, they are at a certain level, and so it stands to reason that investors, who have put their money in a company, will have an interest in what the company does. And now when we talk about sustainability and ESG, investors are very much interested in ESG reporting, making sure that you are having, as we talked about, the positive impacts on your environment, on the social, you are contributing positively to the governance and then also the economy. And so for us, I think we like to assure, and we are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. There are other requirements, be transparency. We need to make sure that we are reporting the right things and accurately. So in terms of even just our reporting being ethical, and so we can assure our investors and other stakeholders that we'll continue to do that, put the governance at the heart of what we do, ethical business at the heart of what we do, continue to invest not only in our business but also in the non-financial aspects as well, the environment, in people, in societies, especially through our MTN Foundation. We've done a lot through our foundation.
And I must say, well done. MTN Foundation has been a yeoman's job in that respect. But what are your future ESG plans? What's the plan?
I think the plan for us is to ensure that we are able to meet the targets that we've set for ourselves. As I talked about, our Project Zero or Net Zero target, that is zero carbon emissions by 2040. Our diversity and inclusion, 50% workforce being women by 2030, and some of the other targets as well. Also pushing, and now everything we're going digital. Just making sure that we are pushing our digital inclusion agenda, ensuring that coverage is guaranteed or is made available for everyone. And also making sure that people can actually have access at an affordable cost. And so we need to look at our devices and how we support in making devices affordable, in making data affordable, in ensuring that people are trained in digital skills and are able to actually even take advantage of all the digital opportunities that they have, and just making sure that we lead in that space. I think that's our vision, to be able to lead in that space and to be an example for others.
Now, one of your taglines recently is, "What are we doing?" MTN. I mean, as the Chief Sustainability Officer, what is your own vision for MTN Ghana in the area of sustainability? What do you want to see MTN do in that regard?
I think I just want MTN to have sustainability in their minds, whatever they do, so that even when we are looking at the way we design in our products, when we're looking at the way we treat, we serve customers, the way, so every aspect of our business, we are thinking sustainability. How do we make sure we are creating value in those spaces? How do we make sure that our customer experience is of a very high quality?
Right.
How do we make sure that our products are reach out to everyone? So when you talk about diversity and inclusion, that everybody can access our products.
Right.
And so we need to ensure that everything that we do fits into the value we are creating, either from an environmental side, from a social side, or ensuring that we are doing it right. So that's so we would have to embed sustainability or ESG in our business such that it becomes second nature.
Exciting stuff. Powerful. Thank you for talking to us. Adjoa Efriye. It's been a very fantastic time talking to you. She is the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer for MTN. If you didn't take anything away from this conversation, remember that the earth is not an inheritance from our ancestors. We borrowed it from the future.
For me, but I have to say, please wait until I get my new car. Please wait until I find my real side. I'm gonna get me some love, somebody.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Anymore, pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with omni?
Oh, that's easy. Omnibus, omnipotent, omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard.
Hey, Radzi, you mean Omnibisic. OMNIBSIC. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it.
Omnibisic.
Perfect.
Is that an abbreviation?
Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana.
Plus, they have the coolest signboard.
Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omnibisic.
At your service.
From the classroom to the lab, from the village to the city, the NPP's commitment to education is building a brighter Ghana. Free SHS isn't just about free tuition, it's an investment in Ghana's future. We have topped it up with free TVET and STEM education, skilled graduates, innovative thinkers, and a thriving economy. That's the promise of free SHS.
3 of my cousins have benefited from free SHS since 2017. One has graduated and is in nursing training. The other 2 are also in the university. I'll vote number 1. I'll vote for Baumia on December 7th.
We are building a better tomorrow through education. Vote NPP. Vote number 1. Vote Baumia. Baumia means business. Estro.
This is the story of Kofi Ba from Takwa. His story has just begun, but it has a world of opportunity ahead of it. His first day at school, his last day in SHS, going to the university, getting into the fast food business, expanding into the delivery business, and
everything to look forward to. And just like Kofi Ba's story, Absa Bank believes there's something special about your story. And we invite you to write it with us. Your story matters. Absa.
This is a special security announcement. Trelledo, Africa's strongest burglar proofing, announces big discounts on all sliding security barriers, roller shutters, and clear guards to protect homes and offices from criminals. Trelledo is fighting rising prices by offering big savings and lower prices. Be safe, secure your premises. Google Trelledo or call 0561 24 24 24. Trelledo, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
This ad is not about how convenient or easy to use the Affinity app is, or how accessible and affordable our loans are. or not having to worry about monthly or transaction fees. Yes, banking without fees. This ad is about a community of entrepreneurs, individuals, young people, and you, the go-getter. And Affinity, providing the necessary services and tools to help simplify daily banking tasks and grow your business. Easy and accessible. Because banking doesn't have to be an inconvenience. With Affinity, you're in. To get the app and apply for loans, dial *229# or go to affinityghana.com.
Hey, put your phones in the air. Hey, wave your arms on cameras. Why the party then? You boss like Samsung Galaxy. Hey, get out the way, get out the way. Make way for the boss. Get out the way, You need long-lasting battery life for this party. Take a picture, my sister. Boss. Choose a phone like a boss. Show me your Samsung Galaxy. Hey, wave till it's morning. Boss. Take a picture, my sister. Boss. Choose a phone like a boss. Show me your Samsung Galaxy. Then a baby man. Get out the way. Make way for the boss.
We go beyond GCB.
My name is Gideon Quay, the Managing Director for Integrity Commodities. Our main bank is GCB Bank. GCB Bank is in multiple locations as we work across the country. They also have a dedicated team. Our RM is very responsive. We call him any time of the day. He's passionate and he's ready to help us. He's been able to arrange for multiple facilities for us to help us also to grow our business. Integrity Commodities wishes all farmers across the country a happy Farmers' Day.
At GCB, we go beyond. Happy Farmers' Day from all of us at GCB. Your bank for life.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Friday morning, Gabby Ofeye with kickoff the Friday edition. And the latest, the world of sports, thanks to Shao Lashaho, Zunda Jage, and Politan Ghana. Let's get straight into the details now. The Black Stars are set to conclude their 2025 AFCON qualifiers with back-to-back matches against Angola on November 15 and Niger on November 18, with the Niger tie serving as the final home game at the Accra Sports Stadium. Well, the Black Stars have only 2 points out of a possible 12, putting them at the risk of missing the AFCON tournament for the first time since 2004. In the lead-up to the two big matches, Coach Otuado's announcement of a 25-man squad yesterday stirred some controversy, notably due to the exclusion of Vice-Captain Thomas Partey. There's more in the following report. After Coach Otuado announced Ghana's 25-man squad for the final AFCON qualifiers against Angola and Niger, Vice-Captain Thomas Partey quickly became the center of media attention. The 31-year-old midfielder, who has logged 356 minutes for Arsenal across their last 5 Premier League matches and a Champions League fixture against Inter Milan, Partey will not feature in the upcoming qualifiers. Coach Otuado addressed the decision, offering insight into the rationale behind leaving Partey out.
If I don't see, let's say, from the performance side, the performance not there, and somebody else is performing, then I invite the other one. So there are lots of things on the pitch, but also off the pitch, which are important, and I explained it at the beginning, which make it, for me, crucial if somebody will be invited or not. And it's not like a permanent state. If I see it's there, you're always welcome. It's up to the player, not up to me.
Coach Otuado has faced a challenging qualifying campaign, with the Black Stars managing just 2 points after losses to Angola and Sudan and 2 draws against Niger and Sudan. The team's struggles have led to some to label this as the country's poorest AFCON qualifiers to date. Ghana's chances of reaching Morocco 2025 now hinge on winning both upcoming matches and hope that Sudan loses both of their remaining games. Some sports enthusiasts shared their views with Channel 1 News regarding Ghana's disappointing start to the AFCON qualifying campaign.
I think that except a miracle happens, we are not qualifying. And so it will be the first time in 20 years that we are not qualifying. And then it sums up how low we've sunk. And I think that unless we are not in the country, then you should have noticed the trend from 2019, as you said.
When it comes to Tuado, his second coming as the Black Star coach, very poor. And today's presser revealing the 25-man squad for the Angola-Niger game is something that we all expected to happen. And he has to do it, and he's done it, but there's nothing new. There's nothing new. Today, I saw a frustrated Coach Tuado.
Following the squad announcement, the Ghana Football Association's Communications Director, Henry Asantichum, outlined the team's itinerary for the upcoming matches.
Our players are playing for their respective clubs this weekend. They will start arriving over the weekend, and then campaign begins from Sunday. It's Monday morning. Okay, so campaign begins hopefully Monday morning, and then we will keep you updated across our platforms.
Well, the final two games in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers is up in the coming days against Angola and Niger. That Niger tie will take place at the Accra Sports Stadium. That's the final home game in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers. But for today's naming of the squad, the 25-man squad done by head coach Tuado, the biggest headline is the omission or the exclusion of Arsenal starman and Black Stars vice captain Thomas Partey. And Coach Tuado has gone on to explain the reasoning why he left out the vice captain of the national team. Now, the Black Stars are hoping to get some good results in the two games that are coming up after losing grounds in the first four games of the 2025 AFCON qualifiers. Reporting here at the Ghana Football Association premises, my name is Gabi Ofe. All right, so the Black Stars, they have two big matches coming up. First off against Angola in Luanda, and then finish off against Niger at the Accra Sports Stadium on November 18. Let's touch on the Ghana Premier League matches coming up match week 10. There's a game tonight involving Heart of Oak v Vision FC at the Legon Stadium at 7 p.m. Later on Saturday, Dreams will take on Mediama Sporting Club, Nations FC up against Isorochaman, Bechem United v Kotoko. Basake Holy Stars will play Accra Lions. Young Apostles take on Gold Stars. Heart of Lions up against Brecum Chelsea. Ejiana FC will take on Karela United. And then Samatex finish off against Legon Cities in the match week 10 of the Ghana Premier League. That's a sport. For more, you can head to citisportsonline.com and on X at Citi Sports GH. Back later with more at 5 p.m. on Sport Flash. My name is Gabi Ofe. Kickoff was proudly brought to you by Shell, Leshell, Zonda JH, and Polytang, Ghana, Papa. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care and bye-bye.
Contract I've been chasing for years. I just got awarded the deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light duty trucks and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, poor pickups, 4-land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks. Made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sales service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Power pickup, which I take to the office. Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off the Aflao Road. Call 0501-772-222 or 0501-773-333. Zonda. Built in Ghana, building Ghana.
Hey, well, yo, I did tire for Abu Chef. See, everything I do, Abu won't do some. Last year, I bought a cattle farm in Yanton. I see he go buy a farm next to mine. I marry Fauzia. No, he marries Fauzia's sister. I buy my motorbike. I see no, he go buy motorbike too.
Hey, but you don't see since you buy your bike, he has bought 4 motorbikes, which have all broken down. You know they maintain bikes at all.
His problem is he dey put wrong lubricant for his bike inside. The correct motorbike oil, where if you put inside be Shell Advanced Lubricant. Shell Advanced Lubricant be the only motorbike oil where they make them for motorbike. to protect engine, clutch, and brake. Wait, no. Wait me, wallahi, I no go tell him. Shit. Hey, well, hey, where you go?
If you don't go tell Abu, me I dey go tell him say make you use Shell Advanced Lubricant for him bike.
Hey,
Visit any Shell station or distributor today to get your Shell Advanced Lubricant for your motorbike. Shell Advance, complete protection for your bike. In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power, because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell, go well.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. We do we seek out to bank be pray, no lie. Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here the date. I'm a busy person, me no many time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. The team in office are chilling, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed you, I'm like us. First Bank will treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see crap, yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
There's a business in every woman, from the young lady brimming with exciting and novel business ideas to the market queen managing her empire. There's the she architect, quantity surveyor, realtor, business consultant, crafting dreams into reality, and the multitasking mom seamlessly blending work at home. The entrepreneur, meticulously checking stock, to the corporate woman sealing deals on the move. Indeed, there's a business in every woman. Introducing Telecel Women in Business, our initiative to empower women-led and women-owned enterprises. Benefit from tailored activities, networking, business and technical support, free webinars, trainings, and more. To join this initiative, be a female-led business and a Telecel business customer. Visit telecel.com.gh/business to register now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Ifya, I've been thinking, have you noticed the changes in our community?
Kojo, things are really different now. The MPP has really made a difference.
Exactly. Free SHS, healthcare, new factories. It's like a whole new Ghana.
And don't forget, electricity is so much reliable now. I remember when we used to go days without light.
True. The NPP has done a lot to improve the basics.
Ajua is a beneficiary of free SHS. And now, she is in university.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. Someone who is focused on making things better for everyone. But Ifya, still there are a lot more to be done for the development of Ghana.
Absolutely, Kojo. The MPP has shown that real progress is possible.
On December 7th, let's vote to keep this positive impact going. Vote number 1 on the ballot. Vote NPP for a better and prosperous Ghana.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV. telling your story, empowering change.
Are you a female entrepreneur, young business owner, agribusiness, fintech, or agri-tech venture? This one's for you. We see your need for funding for your business, and we believe that your story matters. So in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, ABSA is offering you collateral-free loans of up to 1 million Ghana cedis at 10% interest rate per annum. We've already pumped over 1.3 billion cedis into over 6,000 businesses. Yours is next. Visit our SME project office, your nearest ABSA branch, or head to absa.com.gh. Your story matters. ABSA.
Auntie Kankuku.
Dadamu dadao.
Me danger na nama me ground.
But dadao spices here what Jenny say. Nanya good taste. If we say yeah the natural spices and I you want all purpose stew, noodles, curry and nutmeg and a jollof. Dadao spices. Taste yummy. Taste lemon. Dadao spices. Taste day inside. FDIG a jedi in kratoya too.
Switch to awesome. The Samsung Galaxy A06 performs better than your backup phone. Buy now from authorized shops.
MSMEs power over 70% of Ghana's GDP and employ 85% of its workforce. Yet they continue to face challenges like limited access to credit and essential skills. Join GIZ for the Greater Accra Regional Network on Entrepreneurial Development and Employment Promotion Conference, themed Sustainable Solutions for Enterprise Development and Employment Promotion, the role of the Union of Stakeholders. This two-day event features hands-on workshops, expert talks, and inspiring success stories from local entrepreneurs. Are you an SME? Register now to showcase your business for free. Date, 12th and 13th November, 2024. Venue, Kofi Ohene Konedu Hall, UPSA, Accra. Time, 9:30 a.m. daily. For more information, call Bernice at 0244 311 409.
My name is Anthony Kofi Blay, the Director of Agriculture River Estate. We established relationship with GCB Bank about 25 years ago. Though there has been some challenges, but we have grown together and we really enjoy a very good relationship with the bank in the specific areas of forex transfers, exchange rates, customer relation. On that note, I want to wish all our farmers, hardworking farmers, a happy Farmers Day.
At GCB, we go beyond. Happy Farmers Day from all of us at GCB, your bank for life.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
November 8, 2024. Kickoff was brought to you by Polytank and Zonda. Polytank says when it comes to water storage tanks in Ghana, the name we all know as Polytank. They've been with us for over 3 decades. And this is what generations trust as the first, the best, and certainly the original. So whenever you think of storing water, make no mistakes. Go for guaranteed quality. Choose Polytank, Polytank near Papa Nunye. Caution is we don't request for Momo payments online. And Zonda Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for quality trucks. Whether you're looking at Shantui bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, power pickups, TX trucks, and oil tanks, all of them made and assembled right here in Ghana. At Zonda Ghana Limited, we do not only create opportunities and empower people, we provide top-notch after-sales services for all your heavy and light-duty trucks and machinery needs. Visit us today at any of our branches, 7 of them around the country. Our head office is off the Tema Plao Road, close to the Free Zones Enclave in Tema. Call us 050-177-2222, 050-177-3333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana. And let me say a very, very big congratulations to my favorite niece's father. Oh my God. You graduated and you are a fellow of the West Africa College of Physicians and Surgeons. You are a consultant gastroenterologist. Consultant gastroenterologist. Hey, you're a big man. Dr. William Ezra Arthur. Good morning to Dr. William Ezra Arthur. Nathan, he's a cool guy.
I see.
You know, he's a very calm and collected guy. Very unassuming, but he's a big man. So congratulations, to Dr. William Ezra Arthur from Bozoma, Papa Enda, and of course, her Arabaship. They say they celebrate you. Congratulations on your feat and milestone. It's the birthday of a number of people today.
Yes. There are a few birthdays.
November 8th.
November 8th, 2024.
People are celebrating their birthdays.
Yes.
Nice
a few. This one is from Nana Yao Debra, who's the PM for the New Job in South Municipal Assembly.
Right.
And he's celebrating... I'm not too sure. Okay, he's celebrating Stephen Nanam Ponsa.
Okay,
he calls him his dear friend, brother, mentor, and godfather. He says, may this milestone usher in an even more remarkable journey filled with joy, wisdom, and lasting fulfillment. So that's the birthday wish coming there. Another one that I have here is from my very good friend and my classmate, Eugene Adams. And he's wishing Charles Opoku Debra, aka Scorpion. He's a private businessman based in Accra. So Eugene is wishing Charles Opoku Debra a happy birthday.
And a few here as well. The number to send yours through is 0549 986 996, 0549 986
Yes, this one says, happy birthday to Mr. Alex Inkum Owusu. May God truly bless you and perfect all that concerns you. The message is coming from Emos, David, and your lovely wife, Dora.
Okay. Happy birthday to our dear daughter, Sika Abena Amponsa Sasu of Richard School. May the Lord bless you with wisdom, grow to become a good leader for your generation. Mr. and Mrs. Sasu, Nanaya, and Ohima are sending you these wishes. Mr. Charles Samavo Aduboy is a retired electrical engineer of the Ghana Civil Aviation. He celebrates his birthday today. We wish him long life and good health and happiness. This is coming from Paskubi Aduboy in Oyibi. Happy 40th birthday, Marian. Every moment with you is a treasure, and I'm so thankful for the love, warmth, and joy you bring into my life. You've made our journey together so special, and I can't wait to see all the amazing things the next chapter holds for you. Here's to celebrating you today and always. Happy birthday, Marian, from your husband Kwame Anane and Papa Kwesi. This one says, please wish Emmanuel Rikubu Sicho at Tema a happy birthday. I ask for God's blessings, protection, and favor for him. From Samuel Tay at Danu Photojournalist Graphic Communications Group Limited. Happy birthday to Joyce Smiles Mensa Ekashia at I Am Royal Limited Takra Day. Wishing her all the best in life, good health, and long life from Patrick Nana Ofe. More dedications coming through. We'll bring them to you later, but some important announcements for you. Nathan will bring some your way. I have a couple, and we'll jump into the big ticket conversation for the day.
Yes, Zenith Bank is saying that this November and December, they are rewarding, or Visa will be rewarding through them, the Zenith SME business card holders. Be one of the first 40 customers to sign up for a Zenith SME business card and receive total energy vouchers to fuel your car. Or be one of the 100 Zenith SME card holders who receive shopping vouchers from Amazon when you spend a minimum of 10,000 cedis on internal transactions in November and December. For more info, call Zenith Direct, which is their 24-hour contact center on 0302 688 84. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. And January 2025 admissions are in progress at Heritage Christian University College. They are the Masaman behind the Olympic Stadium. They are accredited by GTech. They have a wide range of masters and undergrad programs as well. So call them on 0202298399 or visit their website hcuc.edu.gh. Heritage Christian University College, educating compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. Now, the 12th and 13th of November 2024 are days when the GIZ will be holding a great conference, called Sustainable, or it's the Greater Accra Regional Network on Entrepreneurial Development and Employment Promotion Conference. It's happening at the UPSA, 9:30 a.m. on the 12th and 9:30 a.m. on the 13th of November. For more info, call Dennis on 0244 311 409. And the Affinity app is working. Dial star 229 hash to get the app. Now, this is what you are going to get. You are going to get a super app where there are no monthly fees, no transaction fees, zero fees. Imagine banking where you don't have to keep an eye on those extra charges sneaking in. That's what sets Affinity apart. So you can visit their website, affinityghana.com, to find out more. With Affinity, you are not just banking, you are in.
And if you need to service your car, certainly your car needs some pampering. Call Auto Parts Wholesale. They have factory service products like engine oils, coolants, transmission oils, batteries, and brake parts to keep your car on the road for many years to come. Locate us at Shalibutre School Junction, Springtest Road, North Kaneshi and Hacho. 020-484-2247 is the number to call. 057-1100-233 is an alternative number. And to all the female entrepreneurs, agribusiness owners, and young entrepreneurs out there, we have the big eyes on you. We see you. We understand the challenges you face. Your story matters, and we are here to support you every step of the way. In partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, APSA is offering SME loans at an unbelievable 10% interest rate per annum. Imagine having access to 1 million Ghana cedis completely collateral free. It's not just talk. We've already disbursed over 600 million Ghana cedis, supporting over 1,600 businesses within the past year. And we are especially proud that 67.3% of our beneficiaries are women-owned enterprises. Your success is our success. If you're ready to write the next chapter of your success story, visit our SME project office nearest branch, APSA branch, or apsa.com.gh. Your story matters, APSA.
Wash your shop, so the boy say, my man come to be the gate. This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. My man come to be the gate. Tama, the talk of you. Kofi menko, sabashana kofi wo. Kofi menko, sabasha kofi wo. Kokona nena jina ninchanu pono, akroma lecheno. Abane nenyi asinu kofi, minyiwa beblo. Sama makaenti yo, sikantanja mini baby yo. Ibaden tani suban, nabra pai joula pan. Ay sukuri yo kofi, yakusami yo kofi. So adini yo kofi, no that kofi.
Kofi Kenata, he calls this one Antiama. Happy birthday to Selam Dako from Oreku and Anita. They say God bless you, they love you is the message. So Parliament was recalled yesterday, and we're expecting to see that parliamentarians will return to Parliament and attend to government business. Interestingly, however, once again, Parliament had the Speaker adjourned the sitting indefinitely. And then we saw that the parliamentarians for both sides then engaged in a media banter once again. And we are told that 1 million Ghana cedis is spent on each parliamentary recall. And that for many is concerning, that for the meager resources we have, we are spending them to recall Parliament. And when we do same, we do not have our representatives discuss government business that will improve the outcomes of our collective well-being. However, it's ending in media banters and accusations and all of that some people have described as unfruitful and not in the interest of the general public. If you go to citynewsroom.com, for example, Nathan, Murtala Mohammed has been disclosing that for each recall, 1 million Ghana cedis is spent. Yeah. Details of the story. Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, has voiced serious concerns regarding the financial strain that emergency parliamentary citizens place on the state. Now, according to him, each day of such citizens costs the country at least 1 million Ghana cedis, a substantial expense for a single day's gathering. He highlighted this issue following Speaker Bagban's decision to indefinitely adjourn Parliament on Thursday. Now, the adjournment came after the session was initially convened at the request of the New Patriotic Party NPP caucus, which filed a petition urging Parliament's recall. Now, despite the urgency of the request, members of the NPP caucus failed to attend the sitting, leaving only members of the opposition NDC present. Now, Murtala Mohammed criticized this absence, stating that it signifies a blatant disregard for the serious nature of convening Parliament and represents a considerable waste of both time and the taxpayers' money. He emphasized that such actions demonstrate a clear mismanagement of state resources. Speaking to the media, he expressed disappointment, highlighting the substantial cost involved, not only the 1 million Ghana cedi daily expense, but also the disruption caused to MPs' schedules. So that's what Murtala is worried about, that we are spending more to recall Parliament and not much is done when Parliament is recalled. Well, I'll bring you voices from yesterday's parliamentary proceedings and get your views also. 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. As a listener, as a consumer of the news, I want to know from you, when you tune into the radio for TV and our programs are disrupted, we are bringing you parliamentary proceedings, and you realize that instead of trading government business, words are traded, accusations are traded amongst the representatives of the people. How does that make you feel? Not forgetting that in the last couple of weeks, we have seen what Ghanaians consider to be most important problems that they wish their leaders addressed for them. We've seen the NCCE survey, we've seen the Afrobarometer, and a host of others. People are talking about unemployment, people are talking about infrastructure, people are talking about health, education, and a host of other things. Now, when Parliament is reconvened to transact government business, now expectations of the people are that the government is going to trade business that will ameliorate their situation and enhance their outcome. So when things end up the way you see it, how does that make you feel? Does that leave you hopeful? And then generally, my thoughts this morning, I've been reflecting on the whole timeline of this particular parliament from, was it January 2022 up to now? 2020. Yeah. January 2020 till now. This is the first time we are having a hung parliament.
January 2021.
January 2021. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, we voted in 2020.
Thanks for that correction. What has been the legacy of this particular parliament for you listening to us? I mean, this is the first time we've had a hung parliament. Has it?
I think that word is not properly used.
Which one? The hung
technically
parliament?
It's not a hung parliament in the true sense of the word.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it technically? But our understanding of it,
the point is that once, if we say a parliament is hung, then it's what, even on either side, right?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Okay.
Okay. So what is it? How should we call it?
Let's make progress.
so the way listeners understand what I'm trying to say, and that Sky is not saying. Sky is actually say it. No.
I get your point.
Basically, this parliament.
Get your point, but I also get Sky's point.
You know. But he's not also telling me how to call that. That is my problem.
Let's make progress.
Okay, so in making progress, what are your reflections of this particular parliament? You know, has it been one that issues have been really fought dispassionately, not on partisan lines, because then the parliament has not been a rubber stamp where it doesn't have a simple majority, so you don't get a yeah all the time? Has that been good for us? I've heard some senior parliamentarians say that this one, they feel the previous one, they were able to pass more bills, so they think that one has been more successful. Others think that given that the other side, the opposition that is not in government, because they've had numbers that have almost evened out that of the majority side, then bills have been meticulously debated or scrutinized. It's up for debate. They feel that the executive has simply not had its way to have the parliament as a legislature as a rubber stamp to all that they've wanted to do. So the jury is out there. I'll be happy to hear all of that. But Nathan, when you tuned in yesterday to listen into what happened in Parliament, what were your thoughts? How did all that went down reflect on you? How did all that leave you?
I don't know. I was quite surprised. Okay, a part of me was surprised. A part of me was not too surprised at how the events played out. A part of me felt that after everything that had happened, the initial declaration from the speaker, going to the Supreme Court and everything, I imagined I was going to see a parliament where the two sides would be there, government business would take off, the speaker would express his own reservations on the Supreme Court's decision, and then we proceed. So that was the first thing I expected. And then, as the event turned out, you had the NDC side going in and then sitting wherever. A part of me also felt, or a part of me imagined or hoped that the MPP side would still go to the House, still sit wherever there was space, make their points, conduct government business, and then, we all proceed with life. Because I really thought that after everything that happened at the Supreme Court, all the parties involved would still meet on the floor of Parliament, iron out their details, and get some serious work done. Maybe it was wishful thinking on my part, maybe it was idealistic, but I feel that after all the journeys to the Supreme Court, everybody would show up, would all sit down, iron out whatever it is, and then we get on with business, because there is still business to conduct. There's a country to run. There are things to do. There are important decisions to be taken. So that was what I was expecting.
Right.
The events as they happened surprised me to a large extent, but a part of me kind of felt that, well, this is not too surprising. You still have different sides of the House do one thing or the other to make a point or to make a statement. So yeah, those are my genuine thoughts. I guess the last thing I expected was the House being adjourned again. That was the last thing I expected.
At a short notice.
Yes, I just felt that business would go on. I just thought
business.
business would go on. Look at a few things. Iron out those issues of who sits where, but still get business done. Because you see, like I'm saying, or as I said, there's a country to run. There are things to do. There are serious matters to take care of before this Parliament expires, and then we construct a new one early next year. So those are just my initial thoughts on everything that happened yesterday. And then there was the press conference and all. Once the MPP side didn't show up, and there was this, and there was the adjournment, you just knew that all the statements that would come would read the situation from from different perspectives. So somebody will read it this way, another person will read it that way. That's not too surprising. What surprised me the most was the adjournment of the House. That I did not see coming at all.
So let me take listeners back to yesterday very briefly and give everyone a panoramic view of what happened. Just a quick reminder. But Sky, again, when I checked the definition of hung parliament, it's saying that a parliament in which no political party has enough seats to secure an overall majority.
See, I told you that technically, if you go into the Eskin-May, these terms are not terms that we own.
Yes.
They flow from the House of Commons in the UK. And their system of governance is based on parliamentary democracy, strictly speaking. And when they talk about overall control, it means the power to form a government, which government is formed from Parliament.
Right.
So when I say that technically, I'm trying to tell you that we don't have that system.
Okay. But we use it loosely.
Yeah, we use it loosely. So anytime I speak with some nuances, well aware of our constitutional.
So Sky, how do you refer to our Parliament in the state in which it's in now? Let's go to yesterday.
I don't want us to.
The education is good. I'm
When
interested.
we deploy the terms, the terms have limitation within our constitutional architecture.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
All parliaments are not strictly speaking the same, unless you are running it purely on the British system. So New Zealand people can say that it is this, the Australians can say that it is the Canadians, because those parliaments, strictly speaking, are modeled on the UK system. Ours is not.
Fair enough.
So when we use the terms, we should use it and say with the necessary modifications in our context. Then perhaps that's fair.
Lawyers, you like long things.
Oh, no. Exactitude matters sometimes. I mean, all of the time.
So it's a hung parliament in the context of Ghana. Okay, let's go back to yesterday.
Parliament on Thursday, November 7, 2024, reconvened from recess in response to a petition filed by the NPP caucus for a recall of the House. Now, during proceedings on Thursday, it was only members of the NDC group who were cited sitting on the right-hand side of the Speaker to depict their position as the majority side of the House. However, on the left-hand side of the Speaker, there was no member of Parliament seated. The Speaker, in a communication to the House, indicated that inasmuch as the House is constituted for proceedings to commence, the House does not have the required numbers to take decision, hence adjourning the House indefinitely once again.
Unfortunately,
The signatories have not shown up, and therefore matters that they wanted us to handle, which are admitted for the consideration of the business committee, are not on the order paper, and in fact there's no order paper for today because the business committee could not meet due to the absence of the people who requested for the recall. And as you can see, one side of the house is completely empty. In view of this, we have, as usual, got a quorum to sit, but we have no business before us to transact, because the business committee, as you know, they prepare a report, and this report is adopted by the House as business agreed by the House to transact during the course of the week. In the absence of that, there is no other authority that can put business before you which you have not adopted to transact. Knowing the challenges we are facing, it is not advisable to be adjourning from day to day. And so I'll proceed once more to adjourn the meeting indefinitely. And the meeting, this extraordinary meeting, is accordingly adjourned.
The adjournment comes 2 weeks after the House was adjourned sine die by the Speaker on October 22, following the contest for the majority status in the House between the NDC and NPP caucuses after the Formina, Agona West, Amenfi Central, and Suhum seats were declared vacant, despite a ruling by the Supreme Court staying the execution of this directive by Speaker Bagben. Members of the NDC caucus occupied the majority side of the House. The NDC group addressed journalists after the indefinite adjournment of the House by the Speaker, accusing the NPP caucus of causing financial loss to the state due to their absence from the chamber today.
The NPP minority caucus have indeed caused financial loss to the state and to us, the NDC members of parliament, and to the people of Ghana. We say this because these recalls cost Ghana money. This is not the first time that they have done this. They've done this a couple of times, but we see nothing than disrespect. We call on the people of Ghana to see the behavior of the NPP and punish them accordingly. They have certainly, everything shows that the NPP are tired, they are fed up, and they are not ready to work for the people. They are ready for the people. They are bereft of ideas, and they are short of vision. They cannot solve the suffering of the people. All what they do out there during campaigns, in spite of the hardship, is to sing and dance Osisifia. That's all what they do. In times like this, when the ordinary Ghanaian is struggling to survive, they are dancing and singing Osisifia and sharing money. We want Ghanaians to see them as such and vote against them and sack them.
What is before us, given precedent, is a matter under Article 99 of the Constitution, which in my view strongly belongs to the High Court as a forum on whether or not to declare a seat vacant or not vacant. But those of you who have studied Article 97 well, you must read the text well. The text reads, a member shall vacate his seat. Simple. A member shall vacate his seat. The provisions in Article 97 does not only talk about the future, it talks about the past. When it uses the word, if he was elected, it didn't say if he is elected, if he was elected.
And for me, I haven't revised my constitutional law lately, and particularly the rules of interpretation as I should do. But basic, give words their ordinary common sense meaning. It is only when the ordinary common sense meaning leads to absurdity that you look for their secondary meaning. I do not see how the text in Article 97 can be compromised. More importantly, many of you will recall that when I had the rare opportunity to lead the minority, I kept warning then President Akufo-Addo and Professor Michael Kwe as Speaker that watch the precedent you set.
The MPP caucus also addressed journalists accusing the Speaker of supervising chaos in the House.
NPP, our tradition is to respect rule of law. Yes. It's out of deference to Mr. Speaker. That is why we did not enter the chamber. That we should share in that chaos theater with them. Never. Never. We will not. MPP will not. We will not. Therefore, don't be swayed by their lies and their propaganda. What Mr. Speaker did today amount to supervising chaos and bringing the image of democracy to disrepute. Yes. Clearly, the NDC is on a warpath. They want confusion in this country. They want lawlessness in this country. And all these are being supervised by Mr. Speaker.
Yes. It was the Speaker of Parliament who unconstitutionally made a proclamation, whatever it is that he said the last time. The Supreme Court has told him that he was wrong. Restore matters to what they were so before you did that.
Line of action for the MPP.
Well, we will cite him for contempt. We will cite the Speaker for contempt. Watch the space.
So that was a quick highlight of what happened yesterday in Parliament. I mean, we've had a lot. We did extensive coverage on this yesterday. It's also time for you to also ventilate, so we'd like to hear you. Would continue the conversation in here, but certainly love to hear you on this one, reflecting on this particular Parliament. What will be its biggest legacy for you? Has it been a useful one, or you think that it could have been better? 0549 986 996, 0549 986 996. Also, the question I'm asking you is how you feel about all that you watch when you compare that to your reality. If our representatives are supposed to be championing our interest, then would you say that what you have been seeing the last couple of weeks represents a useful, a productive use of the mandate you have given them, on the back that we are learning that every recall is costing us 1 million Ghana cedis, and this is the second time, reportedly costing us 1 million Ghana cedis. This is the second recall. We understand there is going to be more happening. So how do you feel about that? I'm happy to let the world hear what you think about these. Nathan, we have some comments already. Let's bring them.
Yes, this one says, this is just logical reasoning. You called a sitting and you didn't show up, and then you say somebody is trying to cause mayhem. Sir Cab is from New Edubiasi Zongo, saying that some people will see nothing wrong with what has happened in Parliament and they'll try to defend it. Why should the MPP MPs write to the Speaker to recall Parliament and then they refuse to show up? I suggest the Speaker should not recall Parliament again. I see. This one says, please help me understand. 1 million cedis for what? And we still think these people are there to serve us. Really, God is watching us all. Nathaniel from Ablikuma, Agape. This one says, I think... I think Sky's comment this morning that the MPs were misbehaving, and yet the Speaker pretended not to see what he had to do to solve the problem was so apt. Adolf in Newbury. So Sky, you are getting some love here. People agree with your assertion that somebody needs to, come in and direct matters. This one says Apenyoma King should be blamed for all that's happening, not the Speaker. The MPP MP should bury their pride and engage the Speaker and the NDC MP so that government business will continue. Okay, I agree almost completely with Nathan. Given all that's happening in the country, I think I thought the parliamentarians would go to the chamber, sit anywhere, make their points, conduct government business while we awaited, while we await the Supreme Court hearing. It appears to me there are too many egos at play, and people are more interested in their perceived and fleeting positions than they are about proper governance. He says they should be home and they should stop wasting funds on recalls.
Francis sends, that was courage from Kufredia. Thank you, Nathan. Francis sent this one in and said the issue with Parliament currently is because of Honorable Afanyo marking. If it were to be Honorable Chairman, the NDC could have had some respect for him and let things be. NPP always wants things their way any day, anyhow, but no way. Enough is enough. Just look at the way. NDC should never give them the way any day. Francis from Accra Sendison. But Sky, I'm curious, right? Why does it cost us so much to recall Parliament? What's up? Is it the makeshift?
Democracy is expensive. When you invite people, 275 of them, right?
Yeah.
From across the various constituencies to Accra, it is money that would have to fuel their vehicles to Accra. And then also...
So you have to give every one of them fuel to come?
Yeah, per diem and sitting allowance, all of those things have to be taken care of, transportation. Now, when you have them sit in a chamber other than that which we all traditionally know as the Chamber of Parliament, arrangements have to be made to put that place in proper order, befitting enough to sit people who are members of our parliament. So to that extent, it attracts a lot of money. And if Ghanaians are angry enough, they will show their anger to our members of parliament, and they will not keep running our limited tax resources down the drain. It's a lot of money. And while not confirming or denying the figures, it is a lot of money that goes on any time they go and sit and say here, and rise. It is a lot of money. A lot of money goes through that house every single day that they are sitting. And when they are not sitting, they are doing other businesses. So committee sittings, it takes money when they move them to the Eastern region, Central region, Volta region to have committee sittings. It takes money. Hotel bills are paid. Their movement to and from those places are paid for by the taxpayer. If they go and they don't serve the interests of the Ghanaian people, you and I sitting, when you politicize it, you are paying for it. So it is not... The framers of the Constitution did not intend to put a bunch of people together to sit, go do butu-butu, thuggery, choboism, lack of reason, and then everybody goes home, the taxpayer pays for it. No. Yes, democracy allows for disagreement, but those disagreements must be founded on some true principle, and there must be established ways of resolving those disagreements. And the framers of our Constitution built that mechanism into our Constitution. Now, before I proceed to just express some views on what's happening, let me read something from the report of the distinguished eminent persons who sat down to propose a constitution, a draft constitution, which ultimately became the 1992 Constitution.
Okay.
It's the report of Committee of Experts Constitution on proposal for a draft constitution of Ghana, which was presented to the PNDC in 1991.
Okay, so this report deals with what exactly?
It was that report that accompanied the draft version of the 1992 Constitution.
Right. So it's going to tell us what the Constitution is meant to achieve?
Yeah, but I want to isolate something on judicial review. What is creating all of this problem?
Tell me about it.
And the possible, what the framers thought was likely to occur in the event of a disagreement within the branches of government.
Okay.
And this is paragraph 262 on judicial review. Permit me, I'll take about 5 minutes of your time. It says, judicial review, including the power of the judiciary to pronounce on the constitutionality of acts of parliament, other enactments, and also executive action, is a potent and far-reaching aspect of judicial power. Judicial review is an established doctrine of the constitutional law of the United States and was adopted in Ghana under the 1969 and 1979 constitutions. In view of the limited duration of these two constitutional regimes, it can hardly be denied that Ghana has had a comparatively limited experience of the doctrine in its more radical form of pronouncing on the constitutionality of actions taken by the legislature and the executive, and indeed any other authority. Paragraph 263. The practice of this concept of judicial review in other countries, not excluding the United States, has not been free from difficulty. Many governments and legislatures do not welcome the prospect of their action being nullified by the unelected branch of government. That's referring to the judiciary. Disputes as to the constitutionality of the action taken by the legislature or the executive, therefore, frequently generate bitter confrontations between state organs that threaten the constitutional order itself. Thus, in some cases, constitutional challenges to the executive or the legislature may disclose genuine philosophical differences with the judiciary before the court. Thus, in the United States, there was a genuine question as to whether the Roosevelt administration's legislation program to regulate and ameliorate social working conditions was violative of constitutionally guaranteed contractual rights. Now, similarly, attempts of the Gandhi government in India to introduce land reform were challenged as repugnant to the constitutionally protected property rights of the large landowners. Thus, what the judiciary considers a principled stance in defense of clear provisions of the Constitution may be seen by other branches of government as an unduly conservative or radical posture that impedes much needed social reforms.
Okay.
And they brought the discussion to Ghana. In Ghana, the Sala case and the Akpalu case demonstrated the extent to which constitutional confrontations could threaten the political foundations of the system. Paragraph 264. Notwithstanding these difficulties, the committee is of the considered view that judicial review in all its forms should be firmly established under the Constitution. This means, 1, the power to pronounce on the constitutionality of acts of the government and other branches, and 2, the judicial review of administrative acts. Judicial review of the latter category is necessary where there is a breach of natural justice or where administrative bodies act in excess of their powers. Nevertheless, having regard to our bitter experience of confrontations generated by the exercise of this power, the committee strongly urges that appropriate mechanisms be instituted to minimize and diffuse the prospects of such confrontations. The special role defined for the Judicial Committee of the Council of State addresses this concern.
Okay.
The last paragraph, 265.
Okay.
Subject to the foregoing, as well as the jurisdiction of the High Court to enforce human and other constitutionally guaranteed individual rights, the committee fully endorses vesting the power of judicial review in the Supreme Court as set forth in Article 118 of the 1979 Constitution as follows.
Okay.
Now, what's the reason why I read this? You see, people import the practice of other parliaments or other jurisdictions into our context without addressing their minds to our own unique circumstances
Okay.
and how we expect difficulties to be resolved when they arise. The framers of the Constitution, in their own wisdom, recognize that yes, there is a need for separation of powers as it applies elsewhere, but with the necessary modifications to suit our own circumstances. They, at the time they were writing the Constitution, they were well aware that there will come a time when the president will take a decision that will violate the letter and spirit of the Constitution. And they wrote in there that when that happens, it is the job of the Supreme Court to pronounce on the same.
So it's not the case that Parliament is the master of its own rules, and so everything that pertains there must be controlled there, but Supreme Court has some powers to interpret what
Exactly.
goes.
Similarly,
Okay.
people who claim to be drawing their powers from the Constitution and claiming that they respect the Constitution, there are times that they will take decisions that would act against the provisions of the Constitution. The framers recognized that, and they said that, look, when those situations arise, the forum to deal with it is not your partisan interpretation of the Constitution or your, dignifying interpretation, however learned. It is the group of people that we have approved of Ghanaians to sit at the Supreme Court and determine the same. And they actually even recognize, from what I've read to you, that their decisions sometimes will create tension.
So
right?
in the event that happens,
there
they
is
defer to the Supreme Court.
that
is
happens.
in the event someone takes it up and defer to the Supreme Court.
Exactly. That is what it is. Now, these provisions, when they later found themselves in the Constitution, were recently engaged by what we saw in Parliament. Simply put, the Speaker made a decision in his candid view, in his wisdom. He thought that he did what, in his wisdom, is right. An aggrieved member of the Ghanaian community, who also happens to be the majority leader, says that, look, I disagree with what was about happening. And before the Speaker made the decision, went to court. That decision to go to court has been questioned by the Speaker, but the Constitution says that, well, anybody
is well within their right
to do that. So he took the matter there. The Supreme Court heard his prayer and said, oh, yes, you have raised issue with what the Speaker has done. You came here alone without the other party. But because of the urgent circumstances surrounding this matter, and because it was likely to affect how government functions, we are holding the Speaker's matter or his action in abeyance. We are staying it. So go and tell the Speaker that this is what we have said. That decision was communicated to the Speaker. Now, if we were respecting the terms or the intention of the framers of the Constitution, all the Speaker needed to do was to go back to Parliament at the next sitting to say that, honorable members, last week I made ABC decision, which I believe, as I sit here, is what the framers of the Constitution intended. They intended, in my respectful view, that when you file your nomination as a member of Parliament on a different political party to contest on another political party's ticket, you vacate your seat. But that decision is being challenged, as it should be, when a person deems it proper at the Supreme Court, the proper forum, or even if you say you disagree with the forum. For now, the court has not said I am right or I am wrong. The court is simply saying that they are looking into the matter that one of our members has brought before the court.
So
and that they will decide. In the meantime,
stay execution.
I should not give effect, or I should not practicalize the order that I have given, which means that all 4 members of parliament who I ordered to leave the chamber or who I ordered to no longer consider themselves members of parliament should resume or continue to serve as members of parliament.
So, Sky, at
until
what
the
point?
matter is determined.
So, going back to yesterday, for example, at what point could the speaker had done that? Given that, if you look at the number of the number of MPs who were sitting at the time, I'm not sure if they formed quorum for business.
Okay, so no, they formed quorum
They
for
did
business.
for business, but not for decision making.
Okay, so I'll explain that.
Uh-huh.
So you see, at the first sitting,
Yes.
if the speaker had done that, what he would have been communicating to members of parliament would have been clarity. The orders of the court are that what I believed would have been the proper effect to give to the provision has been stayed. And therefore, we go back to the old position. These people are the majority for now.
That should have happened in the first
Yes,
instance.
I will come
record.
back to your question.
Mhm.
And these people are the minority.
Yeah.
In which case, if the minority people had assumed the role of majority, they would have been told in the face that, look, what you are doing, according to the decision of the court, is not proper. Go and sit in your chair.
So we've missed that opportunity.
We missed that opportunity.
No problem. Yesterday,
a day before yesterday, the speaker had every opportunity to address the matter at his press conference. You realize that he read a text. He was entitled to criticize the Supreme Court, because merely because the court has made a decision does not mean that that is the right decision.
Okay.
All it means is that they are so empowered to take a decision that brings finality to the matter for the time being, right? And they made that decision. So you defer to the decision of the court even when you disagree, because
this guy still yesterday.
Hold on, I will come to that. Let me.
I mean, that point has been established.
I'm not established. Allow me to make.
Counsel, I am trying to speed you up a bit, so because we have an understanding of where you are coming from with respect to what the speaker could have done in the first instance.
No. You see, I'm laying a foundation.
A trajectory.
So allow me to finish. So at that press conference, journalists asked him the question that, Mr. Speaker, there's a disagreement as to who is the majority and who is the minority.
Yeah.
Right? There was a reason the speaker called the press conference. He ought, in my respectful view, to have used that opportunity to say that, hey, I have become aware through service of the ruling of the court on my office, or me, that the Supreme Court is saying that the old position, as we have always known since January 7, should continue, right? Until it is otherwise determined by the court.
Okay.
And therefore, tomorrow, when we go into the chamber, you would expect that the majority leader will be recognized as such, and the minority leader will be also recognized as such. There should be no confusion. We are here to serve the interests of the good people of Ghana. There will be disagreements, but there are mechanisms for resolving these differences. And those mechanisms are in play, although I disagree robustly with them.
Right.
And you can state your disagreement. Somehow, the speaker, for whatever reason, decided to skirt around the issues. Said that, look, it was not his business as to how people should sit or where they should sit in the chamber. But you see, the contradiction to that, with great respect, is that the speaker just moments earlier had read a statement to journalists in which he said that sometime earlier in January 2021, he made a determination as to who is majority and who is minority. So you cannot in the same statement say that you made that determination and that it was respected. And then when you are answering questions, you create the impression that that is not your role. I think that is double speak.
Okay.
So that was not done on that day. Then yesterday, the speaker cannot say that he was not aware that the NDC side had repeatedly said, which they are entitled to say, that look, as for them, although the court has taken a decision, they are not formally aware, because parliamentary practice requires that such information should be communicated to them formally on the floor.
Okay.
So at yesterday's sitting, that opportunity presented itself. The Speaker, before starting anything, could have said that, look, honorable members, I take note of what's happening in the country and all the debate that is happening on public radio. There's some confusion as to whether this person is the majority, that person is the majority.
So the Speaker should have resolved that yesterday.
Yeah, so he could have done, in fact, by reason of the orders of the court, in my respectful view, the Speaker ought to have done that yesterday. And if he had done that, then he would have given matching orders to the minority. That minority members, please, I recognize that you are sitting on seats that are not reserved, properly speaking, in our parliamentary system for you. Because, yes, it is the case that it is not written in any constitutional provision or the standing orders of the House that you sit on the right side or you sit on the left side. But by practice, by tradition, by convention, we have come to accept that the majority side sits on the right side of the Speaker and the minority on the left side of the Speaker. In keeping with that tradition, which is a preservation of the old order in line with the Supreme Court's decision, I am hereby instructing you that go and sit on the left side so that we can resume business.
Okay, Sky.
We didn't do that.
Please hold your thoughts for me. We have someone on the line. We have a lawyer on the line, Member of Parliament for Boko Central, Mahama Yarika. So we'll pick his thoughts and then continue the conversation from there. Good morning, Boko Central MP, and thank you for joining us on the Citi Breakfast Show this morning. We understand that it costs the taxpayer about 1 million Ghana cedis for Parliament to be recalled in the fashion in which it was done yesterday and the previous time. If you can confirm this number for us, would you say that what has been happening in Parliament on the last two occasions is a prudent use of limited public resources? Before we get into the legal debates about majority side and all of that, your views on efficient use of limited public resources?
You cannot really place value on when the Constitution is protected, when it is defended, when people stand up to make sure that we imbibe the appropriate constitutional culture that should inform the governance of the country. You cannot place monetary value and calculate and say, this is how much it costs. And so when a practice takes place, it might appear to you to have cost money, but what is the alternative? We had military regimes. We know what it cost us to live under military regimes. We now have a constitution, and it says Parliament can be convened and Parliament can adjourn, and people have a right to demand that it should be convened, and this is how you go about it. All that will cost money, but it is far better than military rule and dictatorship. So you cannot place a real value and say, is it a waste of taxpayers' money? Anytime that we go according to our constitutional processes and do whatever it takes, it costs money, but the value is that we have a functioning, stable democracy and we can predict what will happen. And that is the essence of our democracy and system of rule of law. So the figure, I don't know. In fact, I think that is an understatement. I believe that when Parliament convenes and sits and functions, probably will cost more than 1 million Ghana cedis.
Wow.
Whether when you just convene it alone, it costs 1 million or more. I haven't really done the calculations. But just look at all 275 members of Parliament having to rush back from their constituencies, the cost involved, all the workers having to be called from leave to provide all the support services, electricity cost, all the running cost of facilities in the building, and etc. So I can't tell, but it probably could even be more than that.
Very well. Now, let's get into the details of what happened yesterday. We were told that there was supposed to be urgent government business for which Parliament was recalled yesterday. But then again, we see that the majority, we are told, the minority, the NDC side of Parliament, went to take off the names that were on the tables and seats of the NPP side, and then sat on the Speaker's side. We are having this back and forth, and the public is beholding to you to attend to government business in their collective interest. Do you all MPs feel that how you've been conducting yourselves is, building any public confidence in your institution?
Well, the first thing is government business can be conducted irrespective of where you sit in the Chamber of Parliament. That's the first, most important point that I expect Richard Sky, who has covered Parliament for as long as I have been there, who I know quite well, that government business can be conducted sitting anywhere in the Chamber of Parliament. Decision making is a function of numbers, not where you sit. You can sit on the majority side and vote against the position of the majority. And we saw it. People sat on the MPP side and voted against the MPP nominee for Speaker. People sat on the NDC side and voted for MPP ministerial nominees against the position of the NPP. So where you sit does not necessarily affect the decision that you will take in the chamber. So one, government business can be conducted sitting anywhere in the chamber. Two, decisions can be taken for or against a position in Parliament sitting anywhere in the chamber.
Well, I do not think Sky has said this morning.
Listen, let me finish. So anybody who says that he could not come to Parliament and conduct government business because he saw NDC members go and sit at a place that he felt is not their position, is not serious about government business. If he were serious about government business, he would have come to the chamber, pushed government business, and litigated the question of where he should sit and where others should not sit. Number two, the real reason I'm interested in this conversation today is Richard Sky's attempt to educate us on constitutional law. And he read the Committee of Experts report. I know the report very, very well. And I'm happy that he read it extensively. And you can see that the Committee of Experts were drawing on American constitutional jurisprudence to help shape and structure our own constitution. American constitutional jurisprudence. The whole idea of judicial review, starting from cases like, Marbury and Madison, celebrated U.S. Supreme Court case, and many other cases that came after. And then the practice over more than a century. And I, the last time, said that the Supreme Court should show that they have learned from the American constitutional jurisprudence. And I said that people said, I was saying that the Supreme Court is not staffed with, educated people and etc. But the political question doctrine, which Tadio Sori extensively argued before the court, and which I heard them say didn't apply to Ghana, I was shocked. Because the political question doctrine was designed by the U.S. Supreme Court in Baker and Carr and a few other cases, precisely to deal with the type of challenge that we are confronted with today. That there may be instances when there will be a conflict between the legislature, the judiciary, the executive. The Supreme Court ought to sit and ask itself, is this conflict a legal one or is it a political one? If it is a political one, stay away from it. If it is a legal one, fine. You are clothed with jurisdiction. And I said, my advice to the Supreme Court is that this is a purely political battle. And so if you get yourself involved in it, you will suffer some casualty because the political actors will not tolerate it. And the Supreme Court of the U.S. was very clear. And they were, go and read Baker and Carr, and you will see all the instances when the Supreme Court says that in situations like this, please, Supreme Court, don't get involved. And Regis Carr will be educated properly. He will see that everything that we're discussing now fits into all the categories of instances when the U.S. Supreme Court says, look, don't get involved, Supreme Court. Now, let's talk about even the legal aspect. We expect the Supreme Court to pay attention to the language of the Constitution and to be committed to the word itself. We're not saying that there should be no judicial review. So all this elaborate quotation to affirm the principle of judicial review, we all accept that there should be judicial review. The principle of judicial review is enshrined in our Constitution. But which court has jurisdiction over which matter? And our argument is that, look, this is a clear question of whether or not a seat has become vacant. And the Constitution is also very clear that in any matter as to whether or not a seat has become vacant, the High Court has jurisdiction. And the Supreme Court just ignored that. The Supreme Court just ignored that. So much about the Supreme Court. Let's look at what really happened. Yesterday, I did not see any instance of the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, going contrary to a decision of any court.
Right. Honorable Ayariga,
see that.
Okay, that's fine. So what's going to be the way forward? As my final question to you, and if we can do this in a minute, your opposite number has indicated, the leader of the other side has indicated that they are going to recall Parliament again, and it looks like we are going to be having these musical chairs on and on. How do we resolve this so that the critical government business that is still outstanding gets, done?
Number one, he has sent a matter of constitutional interpretation to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has given some interim relief. The Supreme Court, if they say they have jurisdiction to interpret the Constitution in relation to Article 79, or 79, the issue is, why are they not expediting action to give finality in terms of their interpretation of the provision so that they can give a clear decision on the matter? Because what they have done is to provide some interim directives, and it hasn't satisfied the political actors. There appears to still be confusion. Expedite action and then give us your interpretation of the relevant provisions that are in dispute and give us your reasoning. It is perfectly possible that your reasoning will sway the parties in the dispute.
Okay.
They will agree with you that, oh, yeah, okay. For instance, I'm being very, very honest and frank here. If you go back to the record, and I'm on tape, I'm on record, so I cannot deny that. When Mike Okwe gave his ruling at that time and disqualified the current member of parliament, who is still the subject of this dispute, I was one of those. In fact, I was probably the lone voice who went on radio and criticized Mike Okwe, disagreed with him for certain reasons. I mean, at that time, I was motivated by the consideration that a political party says it has sacked its member, and then Parliament confirms that the member is sacked. That was really my consideration, that if you allow that to happen, it means that members of Parliament are beholden to their political parties and cannot vote according to their conscience. So anytime that there's a vote and the party says you must vote this way, and you say in good conscience, it doesn't serve the interest of Ghana, I won't vote that way, and the party writes and says we have sacked you, then the political party position will hold sway, and then the member of parliament will be served. That was my argument at that time, why I disagreed that Michael Quay should not dismiss the member of parliament.
Right. So my question still remains.
Let me come. Okay. But when Bagbin gave his ruling and analyzed those constitutional provisions and argued that if positions like mine is to hold, then it means that the provisions in the Constitution are irrelevant. So it cannot be that it applies to future, that it must apply now. That honestly convinced me that perhaps Bagbin is right and my position 4 years ago was wrong.
Okay.
But again, the matter is at the Supreme Court. Maybe the Supreme Court will be able to take a position and argue convincingly.
Okay.
And everybody reading the judgment will say, no. This guidance from the Supreme Court is a superior one to what Bagbin has said or to what I held 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so the impasse will be resolved. Look, don't think that we're just sitting there, making noise and look, we are responsible citizens.
Fair enough.
I've been in the parliament for more than a decade.
Fair enough.
So don't think that I'm interested in running down an institution that I have spent my whole life serving and etc.
Fair enough.
We want the right thing to be done.
Thank you for spending your time with us. So that was the Boko Central MP, Mahama Yariga. We'll take a very quick break. We have some of your comments. We'll continue to tie it all together before we end the show. It's 9:25. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Dr. Bawumia once said,
every constituency will get $1 million every year for rural and deprived communities. Under this program, there should be no village or community in Ghana after the first 2 years that would have a water problem or a toilet problem.
Next joke, please. Vote John Dramani Mahama for president. Trustworthy, honest, and reliable. Vote for change. Choose the umbrella. Vote John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling.
Wow.
Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
This is a special security announcement. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing, announces big discounts on all sliding security barriers, roller shutters, and clear guards to protect homes and offices from criminals. Trelidor is fighting rising prices by offering big savings and lower prices. Be safe, secure your premises. Google Trelidor or call 0561 24 24 24. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
Dr. Bawumia once said,
the economy is going to grow and grow and grow, and we will have jobs and jobs and jobs. This is the economy of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
The unemployment rate, which stood at just 8% in 2016, has hit an all-time high of 15%. The latest 2024 Afrobarometer indicates that unemployment is the biggest problem facing the nation. You trust this liar at your own peril. Vote John Dramani Mahama for president. Trustworthy, honest, and reliable. Vote for change. Choose the umbrella. Vote John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
What happens when ancient days meets modernity? What happens when a goddess wakes up in an era of digital chaos? Witness the epic battle between the past and the present. Catch the intrigue and suspense in Amwanime's era, a brand new epic telenovela showing Mondays to Fridays on Aquaba Magic, DSTV channel 150 and Go TV channel 102. Available on DSTV Access and Go TV Plus. Dial *759# to stay connected.
From the classroom to the lab, from the village to the city, the NPP's commitment to education is building a brighter Ghana. Free SHS isn't just about free tuition, it's an investment in Ghana's future. We have topped it up with free TVET and STEM education, skilled graduates, innovative thinkers, and a thriving economy. That's the promise of free SHS.
3 of my cousins have benefited from free SHS since 2017. One has graduated and is in nursing training. The other 2 are also in the university. I'll vote number 1. I'll vote for Baumia on December 7th.
We are building a better tomorrow through education. Vote NPP. Vote number 1. Vote Baumia. Baumia means business. Esro.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling. Wow. Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
The luckiest. Star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed star 712 hash and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone.
Dial star 712 hash. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial star 712 hash. Now I can to tickets as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is the card prizes are in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Now join in the winning streak now.
Star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Efia, I've been thinking, have you noticed the changes in our community?
Kojo, things are really different now. The MPP has really made a difference.
Exactly. Free SHS, healthcare, new factories. It's like a whole new Ghana.
And don't forget, electricity is so much reliable now. I remember when we used to go days without light.
True. The NPP has done a lot to improve the basics.
Ajua is a beneficiary of free SHS. And now, she is in university.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. Someone who is focused on making things better for everyone. But Efia, still there are a lot more to be done for the development of Ghana.
Absolutely, Kojo. The MPP has shown that real progress is possible.
On December 7th, let's vote to keep this positive impact going. Vote number 1 on the ballot. Vote NPP for a better and prosperous Ghana.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Friday, Japolo, all night, Saturday night, our club anymore. Yali, Martin, say, men, shock, and Google cap anymore. I the shape in all the Bible, Ben, go for say, Dallas, so they snap in the bank.
33 after 9. We'll pay some bills quickly. I'll get back to the constitutional vex matters. If you're looking for reliable, uninterrupted electricity supply, that would not be a gents any day in the middle of work. Deep Solar Ghana has you covered. For only 58,000 Ghana cedis, you can go fully solar and enjoy independence from the grid. No more lights off or power fluctuations, just peace of mind and savings. So call now 059-549-4113. Visit deepsolarghana.com to learn more. Remember, your energy independence begins with you. Call Deep Solar now. Now, your comfort and well-being should always be prioritized and not compromised. So if you lie in bed, wake up a day later to realize that the mattress beneath you has sagged, then it means that those who made the mattress cut corners and compromise, but latest foam never does that. So step into any of our showrooms and experience the difference for yourself. We have high quality mattresses and furniture crafted with your ultimate relaxation in mind. You wake up rejuvenated. That's our promise to you. So invest in your own well-being. Choose latest foam. Otherwise, you do yourself. We are your partner for life. Visit us today and sleep better tonight. 0302-231-155. 0302-008-499. These are the numbers to call. Visit online www.latestfoamghana.com.
Now, here's your chance to be one of the luckiest. The grand draw is happening on the 30th of November.
Yeah,
and there are wonderful prizes to give away: bikes, TVs, chest freezers, cash prizes. All you need to do is dial *712#, follow the prompts, buy as many tickets as you can to give yourself a chance of winning. The luckiest luck is everywhere and is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. The new Cerelac wheat and maize is here. It's only 2 cedis per sachet, and they mix all kinds of great things: wheat, maize, grains that are fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals. All you need is just milk. Just add milk and you are good to go. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This ad is FDA approved. The weekend is coming and the leagues are on. So if you are wondering how to enjoy the Premier League via a visual experience and you are always on the move but just can't sit down, download showmax.com, pay 55 cedis and sign up for the Premier League mobile plan, and there you have it. Showmax is your stadium on the move.
It's 36 after 9. We have a constitutional matter at hand. While the legal brains split hairs, the everyday Ghanaians are concerned also. They have different concerns and have their own views of things, and some are even proffering how we can probably get a resolution, get the two sides to, resolve their prolonged tensions and deal with the vexed matters of government business. Sky is in the studio with us. Nathan Kwao is still with us here, and we have some of your messages coming through. But Sky, the Executive Director of African Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Rahman, he's been speaking a bit earlier, and he feels that we should even engage national leaders to step in to try and resolve the standoff. But let me come to you, and so that you can share also your responses to some of the comments we've had, and we can tie this up very beautifully and have a very fantastic Friday.
Well, I do not intend to respond to what the Honorable Mahama Yariga has come to say.
Okay.
He's a man I hold in high regard, but I think let's pull politics out of the law and practice of the House. And that is how much I will say on this particular matter. You see, I was saying that the Speaker had the opportunity to decisively deal with the matter.
Sure.
And the foundation for that is both the Constitution, the rule and practice of the House. Now, let me tell you about what the standing orders say as to the role of the Speaker. I am dealing with the Speaker before I move on to deal with the majority and the minority.
Okay.
Now, if you go to Standing Order 20 of the recently adopted standing orders, it is under the heading General Function of the Speaker.
Right.
One says the Speaker is the head of the institution of Parliament and presides over the sittings of Parliament. Then there's Rule 2 under Order 20 says the Speaker is the official spokesperson of Parliament. B, which is very relevant, the principal liaison between Parliament, the executive,
right,
the judiciary,
right,
Council of State, and the National House of Chiefs. And it goes on to mention other things. Now, underline judiciary.
Right.
So when there's a communication properly so-called from the judiciary, based on everything I've said, it is the job of the Speaker to convey that communication as the liaison between Parliament
and the judiciary,
to MPs.
Right.
The MPs should read their own standing orders if they have not.
So you think that the Speaker then reneged on his responsibilities of being a liaison between the judiciary, the legislature, and other parts of the arms of government, in this case, the judiciary?
It would seem.
Okay.
Because what he's doing is to skirt around the issue. So he draws your attention that he's received that. But in order to give effect to it, he's not. So there are two things.
Okay.
He mentions on the floor
Okay.
that, yes, my attention has been drawn or this ruling has been served.
But then what
the first
next?
time, then he didn't do anything
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
So he's being smart about it. But that is constructive disobedience of the orders of the court.
I see.
Constructive means if you put everything together, while it is not express, you cannot expressly say that he said, "Oh, I won't respect it." In effect, his actions show that he is either not minded to give effect to it, or he is pussyfooting around it.
So what can matter?
Yeah,
but but I will also say it.
Yeah, I will also say. I'll pretend that I'm respecting
right,
it,
but I won't
in
do
reality,
it.
because the rule that I just read to you, by reason of that being that liaison, his job is to communicate the position of the judiciary as articulated by the Supreme Court to the House.
And this
There's
is
what do you call it? A rule in the books that I just read to you that gives foundation for that.
Right.
And then,
this is notwithstanding whether or not even the side that is claiming to be majority was present, or if any other side is
irrelevant.
That is his responsibility to do. And he should have just executed
because as of that moment, which I said I was coming to, the House was not taking a decision. The House had the quorum to do business.
Right.
Business means you can deal with ordinary businesses of Parliament once they do not involve decision making, as to say that a constitutional provision is engaged, that you need a certain number of MPs in the House to take a decision. Exactly.
Right.
So, for instance, if you want to take a vote on how much should be paid to somebody, blah, 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 it requires that you need at least half of all members of Parliament present and voting. So, majority of those voting say that, look, we support this cause or we don't support it.
Right.
That was not engaged yesterday. It was not engaged on the first day. So the Speaker at that point could have read to the House. This is the communication I have received from the House, the Supreme Court. It states my decision on the subject matter. Accordingly, in order to give effect to the decision of the Supreme Court, while I respect your view that you are, I take it that you say you are the majority. No. By the orders of the Supreme Court, you are not the majority.
Okay.
You are not sitting where you traditionally sit. And to be clear, I have not said here that you have the business of government is done when you have to sit on the majority side or when you have to. No.
Yeah.
I have said here, and I have repeated this several times on this network, that it is not written anywhere in our rule books that majority sits on the right side or the minority sits on the left
you
side.
have made that point.
What has become the practice, which we adopted from the British people, is that they sit on the right if you are in the majority, and on the left
I think
if you are in the minority.
we all bear you witness.
Now let me just mention one thing else dealing with the Speaker.
Sure.
Now, if you look at 22, Standing Order 22, let me read to you the role of the Speaker.
Then you deal with the majority and the minority as well. Okay.
The Speaker shall A. uphold the honor, dignity, and sanctity of the House. Uphold the honor, dignity, and sanctity of the House.
Right.
B. Promote consensus on matters under consideration in the House. C. Be impartial, fair, and firm in every matter in the performance of functions of the Speaker in these orders. And the most important one, which is relevant because the seats are being fought over. D. Protect and preserve the rights of members. Why is this relevant? As I said, by practice, majority people sit on the right, minority people sit on the left. By reason of that practice, rights have accrued to members of the majority to which they are entitled to sit on the majority side of the House.
Right.
Some people have gone to occupy their seats. Now, a speaker who is minded by the duties that I have just read to you would have said that, look, in keeping with my role as Speaker of the House under Order 20 of the Rules of the House, and in line with preserving and protecting the rights of members of the majority, honorable members of the NDC or the minority, you are sitting on the wrong side.
So move to
Please
the right
move to the proper side
Which is
so
the
that the
left
business
side.
of the House
Can be
continue.
taken, right.
He didn't do that. With great respect, I hold the Speaker in high esteem because many of the things I have come to learn as an individual, he and I have very special relationship. Many of the things I have come to learn, and some of the things I have become today, the Right Honourable Speaker Bagbin played a role in it. But on this particular matter,
You
with
disagree with
great
me.
respect,
That's fair.
I think that he is not living up to his constitutional and legal obligations.
That point is fairly made, right?
Okay.
So now you took issue with the majority as well, right? Because I mean they could have stayed in Parliament and then made that point also, right?
Okay.
Because they didn't show up at all, and then they engaged the press in a manner as to say that so they brought their issue to the press. Like we should get to hear them and bear them out. Where the actual play field was in Parliament, where they could have registered their displeasure, right? So with the majority side, you've taken issue as well.
Yeah. So you see, you took your matter to the Supreme Court. First of all, let's establish clearly that the MPP and the majority have been very hypocritical on this matter.
Oh, have they?
They have been.
How?
When it served their interest, they conveniently raised the matter with a partisan speaker. With all, I respect Professor Michael Quay. He's a distinguished intellectual and a clear voice and authority within, our jurisdiction on several matters. But I fundamentally disagree respectfully with him. Because as I have said here, it is not, or it was not his job to declare vacancy in Parliament.
So that's a bad precedent.
Exactly. The role of the Speaker is to inform the House about vacancy. Now, that information comes about in a number of ways. The processes he engaged to come to that conclusion, in my respectful view, is those processes are defective. Of course, the Supreme Court will deal with it.
Right.
But bad precedent as it was, it served the interests of the MPP.
And they were quiet about it.
They were quiet about it.
Right.
Some members of Parliament, including the Honourable Yarega, who dutifully raised the matter, that look, you didn't have the jurisdiction to do it, you have done it. If the NPP was being honest to itself, it ought not have raised that matter.
Right.
So they set a bad precedent. Yeah, that is now coming back to haunt them. So you took your matter to court. The court made a decision. That decision has been dutifully served on the Speaker or the legal department, which brought it to the attention of the Speaker. On the very next sitting date, the Speaker sort of drew attention to it, but didn't do anything properly about it because you were not there. He said they had a quorum to do business, but they didn't have a quorum to take decisions. I have problems with that because if you know practice of the House, the Speaker could have said, okay, because I noticed the other side is not here, and because there are a number of things to consider, okay, let me suspend sitting under the rules. He can do that.
Okay, he should have suspended and not adjourned.
Yeah, he could have suspended sitting and say, okay,
Instead of adjourning.
yes, I'm directing leadership, please put your house together and let's come back because the people of Ghana need us to do our job. Elections are around the corner. Things need to be done.
So still on the majority now.
So now coming to the majority. So because they were not there, they did not have the opportunity to tell the Speaker that, look, Mr. Speaker, we noticed that you drew the House's attention to this decision, but your conduct doesn't appear to be given effect
to the decision. Okay.
The only way that you could have gotten the Speaker to sit up and do what was required of him is when you were present in the House.
Okay.
In which case you rise, he'll recognize you, and you say, Mr. Speaker, respectfully, you took a decision on so and so date. We have chosen the proper forum in our view to ventilate our grievances. The court has made a decision. That decision is to the effect that you should stay your decision pending final determination of this matter.
Right.
We have noticed that these MPs from the other side of this House have usurped our rights in this matter. They are occupying our seats. Please, in keeping with that decision, we respectfully pray that you will give the appropriate orders which will give effect to the decision of the Supreme Court. Because they were not there, that was not done. Minority NDC MPs chose to use the platform to advance their own cause. So Honorable Susu, for instance, said, "Oh, we are the new majority, Mr. Speaker, make a directive on." The Speaker didn't make any concrete. He just said, "Look, clerk, at table, look at what the records say and decide accordingly." He conveniently skirted. He decided to skirt around the issue. Now, that failure to appear before the House allowed this thing to continue. Now, yesterday, the Speaker went to challenge the decision. The Supreme Court said, "Look, we have heard you, but we are not overturning our decision. Go back, give the people their rights until we determine this matter." Even if you were at a meeting discussing what strategy you wanted to adopt, what you ought to have done is at least send a member to the House. That member will enter the chamber. Well, like I said, it is not written anywhere that this is where you sit, but tradition tells us where the majority people sit. Even if you are standing, once the Speaker is speaking, you then rise or sitting or whatever it is and draw the attention of the Speaker that, Mr. Speaker, well, it is not out of disrespect that my people, my colleagues are not here.
Right.
We are currently in a meeting discussing ABC.
So that communication also didn't go through. It would appear.
Let me just finish.
Okay.
And therefore, we are requesting that this meeting is about ending. Respectfully, if you may, kindly suspend sitting for the next hour so that we can put our houses in order and then get back to the business that has called us here. They were not there. So conveniently, it was good for the Speaker to say, "Oh, there's no business before them, and therefore the House is adjourned sine die." Now, that, in my respectful view, was an irresponsible conduct on the part of the majority group. Although their rights were being usurped by the NDC minority, the way to properly address that was to come and have the records capture it.
Okay.
And which would have meant that if the Speaker ignored them, then they could have gone to the court and say, "Oh, Mr. Speaker has not given effect to your decision." Right. And therefore, under the Constitution, he should be held accountable for A, B, and C. Okay. Again, the members of Parliament who are beneficiaries of this decision, at least one of them, could have gone to the precincts of Parliament, as in where the chamber was.
Where beneficiaries are who here?
The 4 members of Parliament. I'm using the term loosely, because for all you know, maybe they don't even care about what's happening. Or the majority could have procured them.
Those who are going independent?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Because they are aggrieved. That's why they are going independent.
Right.
Attempt to go into the chamber. If anybody prevents them from entering the chamber, you cite that person precisely for contempt of the Supreme Court, because the orders of the court are clear. In which case, if that was done, we would have known that, oh, in real terms, in practical terms, the people are working to frustrate that. But they did not have that opportunity. Or they had the opportunity and they blew
didn't use it.
They took their case to the people of the public
opinion. The court of public opinion.
You see, while that has its own place, the proper place to have ventilated your matter,
for it to be captured in the hands that
is to tell the Speaker in the face that, Mr. Speaker, you are acting wrongly.
So now let's go to the minority, Sky.
Yes, the minority.
And I'll bring in some comments as well.
Okay. The minority.
Yes.
I have heard some of our respected MPs say that, look, they are not aware of the decision taken by
I heard someone say he's in a war, he's in a conflict,
with great respect, and
there's
in
a
all
curfew
humility,
in the area, so
in all humility, this matter has been the #1 news in Ghana for some time now.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
It is fair if you argue that, look, there's a practice of bringing matters elsewhere to our attention in the House. You want those channels to be used to communicate the decision to us. So you are waiting to respect that. But you cannot say you are not aware, right? Because at least a dutiful member of Parliament who is alive to his responsibilities would have taken the trouble to find out, this matter went to the Supreme Court. What have they said? These things are all over the news. And it was on the basis of that you have said that, you are now members of the majority and all of that.
So it's disingenuous.
So it is. You see, we should inject a sense of honesty into that which we do.
Okay.
Because if we don't do that, we cannot grow this democracy.
Points well made.
And you see, I honestly think that this parliament, with great respect, is the worst thing to have happened to this republic.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
The very present one.
This parliament.
The one we loosely refer to as the hang parliament.
Yeah, that's right. The reason is this parliament would have been the best thing to happen to us if they were alive to their responsibilities, they were holding government accountable, because the numbers are thin, right?
You don't think they've held the government accountable?
Look, under their tenure, what has happened? We had DDEP. We were given haircut. The economy has been sunk into, a quagmire.
We saw very fierce debate on both sides, though, over these same issues. But technically, somehow, it always gets passed.
I'm not so sure about fierce debate. What I'm saying is, if Parliament, as the protectors of the purse, had acted properly, the government would not have mismanaged the economy to the point where we would have to go back to the IMF seeking support, right? Because mismanagement played a key part.
So the legislature, this particular one, has supervised a badly performed government.
I'm not so sure whether you should use the statement supervise. Either they failed to do their responsibility.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
And that is why we are where we are. But I read something to you earlier.
Yes.
That the Council of State.
Yes.
The thing I read to you from the committee.
The special report thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have a role to play in this matter. And I do know that a number of these institutions and the Peace Council have made attempts to resolve this matter.
Okay.
Some of the key actors involved have made commitments that they would give effect to the decision of the court.
Okay.
But somehow, they come out of those meetings and they do something else.
I see.
Look, my respectful appeal to the Supreme Court is that on Monday, they will be sitting to finally hear all sides to this matter.
Right.
In all humility. I appeal to the conscience of the judges. I appeal to their higher consciousness to take notice of everything that is happening within this republic as a result of this ruling by the Speaker.
Right.
Hear the parties involved. Of course, by now they would have filed all their properties. In fact, under the rules, they can even make a decision without even hearing anybody.
Right.
They have received all the things that they have to say.
So what should they do?
So they should listen to them if they have to.
Okay.
Adjourn, and hopefully, come back the same day or just a day or two after. And I say this in all humility. To make a firm decision which clearly directs each and every one of the people involved
specifically
in this
what to do
as to what to do.
Okay.
Because if we do not do that, people will still be sketching around the issues.
Right.
And the concerns of the Ghanaian people
will not be properly
the
reflected.
poverty issues that we have to deal with, the galamsey issues, the insecurity, the people who are taking arms and killing people in parts of this country. These issues will not be addressed.
Sky, thank you. I have some comments coming through before we go. Nathan, very quickly, let me take this one. Please, okay. So I'm surprised at the misbehavior of our MPs, and they expect the people of Boko to make peace. Our pension market is... Oh, Charlie. No, I'm not taking this one. Tax from Adenta, please. While the sitting and fuel allowances be paid to the MPP, will the sitting allowances and fuel allowances be paid to the MPP MPs who refused to show up in Parliament yesterday? Sheriff's concern from Clagon. Nathan, help us with the rest of the comments, please.
Okay, this one says, what's happening in Parliament? Who suffers at the end? Common sense should prevail. As I see in Amasaman.
Okay.
Someone wants to find out how, if we can educate them on the parliament, the cost of parliamentary recall. Interesting
fuel allowance and
okay. So yes. Yeah. This one says the issue with Parliament.
I think I've read this. It came to me a bit earlier. So that will be at the top of the hour. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Sky. It's been a very constitutional, parliamentary politics day. And but thank you for being a part of our show today. It's almost top of our... Zoe, good morning.
Good morning.
You are ready with the news at 10.
I am.
Charlie, do you have reading allowance? Or is that your agenda? It is an idiot.
I don't know for that city. Oh, Mr. Breakfast is one of what they have first. If you are able to Badi bia made ne kapa ne fiere taka mobutu Tapu kuchu Nase busa wa mamusu Ete tribia wesi ane ndabrofu ina bedi chubu Awa mwonyi dia Nyamna peno medo kwa motia Gesi minye bia memia Nasu apempe mapenya Ameda wansemi emi neighbor. I want semi emi neighbor. I want semi emi neighbor.
Kofi Kenata. I say I want semi emi neighbor. No, this is my neighbor Onyambosa. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. Good morning, Zoe, once again.
Good morning, Caleb.
What's in the news?
Coming up, Executive Director for